Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Discordant Dragons. I have several excellent guests lined up for you tonight and no special announcements to make. This is a normal work week with normal stuff going on for me. I hope everybody listening who celebrated had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I know I did. So without further ado, let's jump right into it and start bringing out the guests, starting with Mr. the one and only Uzalu. Welcome back to the stream, my friend.
Yo, it is I.
'Tis you indeed. And speaking of people who are returning, we have the one and only Science Sybil, also known as Aydin Paladin.
Yeah. Hey, good to be back.
Science Sybil, who the hell is that? Never heard of her.
Oh my God, who is that? And introducing a friend of mine, someone I've known for a while, who's been in the chat for a long, long time, but is appearing for the first time on stream tonight, the Tree Godfather. Welcome back, or welcome to the stream, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Howdy, brothers and sisters. We love you all.
Hello, hello.
3 of 12 is not co-hosting tonight. He is on a camping trip with friends and family for the 4th of July. So we have Mr. Christopher Everard, the talented writer from Belgium, with us in the co-host seat tonight. Good evening, Christopher. Thank you for being here.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, indeed. Now, before we get started, let's go ahead and do the rounds to get the shilling out of the way. Uzalu, I'm sure most of the people in my audience already know who you are, but go ahead and give us a shill and invite people to the Cabal or whatever else you have going on.
That's very generous of you, Years. Hello, everyone in Years' audience. If you don't know who I am, I do have a little community. I do streams. I've been censored so much from common platforms, you probably don't know about me on there. But I decided sort of to just do my own thing. So come join Cabal, which you can join via the link, which is cuck.shortfatotaku.com. Other links exist, of course. Cabal.uzalu.net will work. Yeah, I also do a stream with Aydin on every Sunday about science and tech, which I think have been very good.
Yeah.
And Uzalu does have a Rumble channel and a YouTube channel. However, it is best
There's
to follow
been
him on Discord.
Been some weird technical issues with Rumble recently. They haven't been accepting any stream data. I'm not sure why. So my recent VODs aren't there. I'll have to fix that.
Oh, interesting. I haven't had that.
Same with Kick, actually.
Again, I use StreamYard to do it, so I know you use your own thing. Well, Miss Aydin, well, what do you have going on? What would you like to invite people to or talk about?
Oh, I actually just posted a new full-length science documentary on the Science Sybil channel just yesterday. So go check that out and subscribe to that channel. Science and then SIBYL.
I'm sharing the link in the chat right now.
Thank you. Yes, I'm focusing more on science topics. I think people are really burned out on politics quite a lot.
Kidding. Me too.
And he said some dark stuff tonight. I think people are very burned out on it. I do still upload videos. I'm actually about halfway through another video for the main channel. So I still upload videos there. The things on the main channel, Aydin Paladin, are politics. Things on Science Sybil are science, you know. That part, the science part, makes it a little bit self-explanatory, but yeah.
All right, Mr. Tree Godfather, take a moment and introduce yourself, since you're your first-time speaker here, and if you have anything going on or any other stuff you want to invite people to, let them know.
Sure. I think if anybody that knows me, they know me from the white well-being community, of which our hierarch, Mr. Jason Kuna, author of Go Free, the archetype of Western kind, a very great book where we practice his lexicon and dialogic to go free of white guilt. You probably know me from the Shade Tree spaces we have on X, of which there are several. We have Seeds of the Shade Tree on Mondays. We have West Coast Shade on Thursdays. And of course, the latest one, the Gum Tree, a version of the Shade Tree in Australia, on, I believe that's late Friday night or early Saturday morning, depending on where you are. And you can find me, of course, on X as at the Tree Godfather.
I'm sharing your link in the chat right now, so if anybody wants to come check you out and network with us over on X, they do a lot of like he said, spaces. That's what they're called. I can never remember that. It's a terrible name for what those are, but yeah, him and the gang do a lot of Twitter spaces over there, and we'll move now finally to Mr. Everard. Is there anything you would like to talk about or shill or promote while you're here tonight, sir?
Well, as I've stated in the last time I was here with you, I basically announced my comeback after my little problem. And yeah, you can expect something from my book series, but this time in English. I don't say when, but surely it will come maybe this year or next year.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. And like always, if there's anything I can do to help or to help promote, let me know. And
sure, thank you.
I had a
lovely
pop up that was loud. I forgot to turn that off. Let me turn that off. There we go. All right. Anyway, so let's go to the regular view. Let's get this party started. We have the branding, bam, and we have OBS crashed. Fantastic. God, I love it when that happens. It's my favorite thing. All right, give me just a second. Let me get it all started back up again. Oy. Thank you, OBS.
We love technology. We hate technology.
OBS is fixed. It's back. We're good. All right.
Yay.
So let me introduce the dragons for the. Nope. Oh, right. I have to click the start virtual camera button. There we go, because it crashed. Very good. So
you have to click the button, yes.
Yeah, right. I forgot the button. The dragons for tonight are: the red dragon has identity crisis. The green dragon has crime and the criminal. The black dragon has the work farce, a play on the phrase the workforce. The white dragon has finding the path to justice, and the blue dragon has the fight to repair. Now, which is, of course, a play on the phrase the right to repair. Now, the way it works is I nominate a party leader each week to choose the dragon we face, or to nominate a party member to choose the dragon we face. Why does that matter? Because whoever chooses the dragon is the first one who has to answer the question after I read a piece of an article or show a clip from a video before it opens up to general discussion. So, Mr. Uzalu, I nominate you to be the party leader tonight because you are the tallest. So, as the tallest, you have the leader crown. So, what will be first, sir?
Here's the problem with that: is every single time I come on your stream, I'm the tallest, so I'm always the party leader.
Yeah, but
throw me into the decision chair.
Yeah, but I is that really the reason I used last time?
It sounds familiar. Let's start with
I thought last time I said it was because you had the sexiest voice. I thought that was the thing I said last time.
Look, you always find a way to give me a compliment that makes me party leader. I kind of do appreciate that. It's just what happens afterwards when I have to then make a decision. So let's start simple. Identity crisis, top left.
Okay, sure. We'll do that. All right. That is the red dragon, which means we will be going to talk about the big sad thing that happened. All right. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Here we go.
If you'd given me a bit more time, I could have given you my answer in the form of Cabby answering it for me. Sadly, alas.
All right. From Fox News. Trump suffers major Supreme Court defeat as justices uphold birthright citizenship. I'm sure we have all heard of this disaster. Supreme Court on Tuesday rejected Trump's bid to restrict birthright citizenship. Here's a quote from the court. Children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are subject to jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause. Another quote. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every free-born person in this land. We kept that promise today. The ruling is a major setback for Trump, who made curbing birthright citizenship a key part of his immigration agenda. The president called the decision too bad for our country and said Congress can easily make it up with legislation prepared for the outcome. Here's a quote. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship, Trump said. They will have my complete and total support. The Supreme Court, of course, betrayed by Roberts and Barrett, led to a 6-3 affirmation. Associate Justice Kavanaugh concurred in judgment, but for a different reason. The court found that a person's citizenship status is not dependent on the parents, citing the old 14th Amendment thing because of that Chinese back in 1898. The majority said that the citizenship clause was adopted to reverse the Supreme Court's Dred Scott ruling, which denied citizenship to Black Americans, and to ensure the citizenship is determined by birth on U.S. soil. That's not exactly true. This is a good example of even so-called right-wing news media repeating anti-white lies. This is not true. This is like the lie you would be told in school from the anti-white books like McGraw-Hill. While Kavanaugh agreed that Trump's executive order could not take effect, He reached the conclusion on different legal grounds than the majority in a concurring opinion. Kavanaugh argued that Trump's executive order violated current federal law. However, he said the Constitution would allow Congress to pass legislation restricting birthright citizenship for children born to parents who are in the country unlawfully or temporarily. Congress could, consistent with the 14th Amendment, amend or otherwise enact new legislation establishing exceptions to birthright citizenship for children born to foreign citizens unlawfully or temporarily in the country, but Congress has not yet done so, Kavanaugh said. Clarence Thomas, joined by Gorsuch, authored a 91-page dissent, arguing that the majority misinterpreted the 14th Amendment. He wrote that, and I agree with him and Gorsuch, by the way. He wrote that the 14th Amendment does not guarantee birthright citizenship to children born to parents who are in the country unlawfully or temporarily. Thomas argued that the court's 1898 ruling in the Kim Arc expanded birthright citizenship beyond what the Reconstruction Congress had ever contemplated. Kim Arc addressed only the citizenship of a child born to parents who were lawfully and permanently domiciled in the U.S., Thomas wrote. Justice Alito wrote a separate dissent, calling the court's ruling a serious mistake. He suggested the court failed to consider the rise of birth tourism, in which foreigners come to the U.S. solely to give birth, and argued that it could have serious national security implications. Suppose that a person's only connection to the country is that he was born here to a mother who was present just long enough to give birth and then quickly returned to her native country, Alito wrote. Suppose the country is a strategic adversary or even outright enemy of the United States. Suppose the child never even visited the U.S. while grown and was inculcated with hatred of this country. So let's leave it off there. That's a good place to stop and move to the red dragon. The red with us tonight is a chancellor for the great political house, for a great political house comprised of many kinds of dragons, and enjoys learning about Earth. He wanted to speak to us tonight about how we view the concepts of citizenship and belonging to an ethnicity, a people. His question is this. It comes to Uzalu first. What does being American, or in your case, being a British citizen, mean to you? What does being English mean to you? How does being white, Western, Christian, and of European descent factor into your identity, and why should that be protected by law?
Well, there's two broad approaches, particularly on the right to this. There's the ethnic identity and the civil identity. You could call them slightly different things, but you get the idea. In both cases, to both lenses, this is an abhorrent decision. Probably the worst decision from the Supreme Court I've seen in my life. It's civically, but in the civic sense, meritocracy is important enough that they must prove themselves. And being born to parents who cheated their way in, not a good start. Ethnically, they must be derived from a stock that is likely to produce the same civilization tomorrow as it did yesterday. And that certainly isn't met by this either. What they said about birth tourism is already common and is going to become much more common now. This just opens the floodgates. It's terrible for the US, really terrible. Yeah. But when it comes to identity, yes, it is. There's all kinds of abstractions you can lay on it, and I'm sure many of them are useful. Many of them will be talked about today, I'm sure. But ultimately, it comes down to what I said before. In sheer practicality, you can rely on people being of the right quality to maintain your nation if one or both of they share your culture and your genetics. And of course, those two are very closely tied.
Yes, I agree. Anything else?
Culture is the what actually matters, but genetics determines it quite strongly. So they both matter.
Yeah, the way that I explain it is genetics, genetics, race, ethnicity, etc., is the prism through which the light of creation shines. Whether you believe that comes from us, or it comes from a different spirit, or it comes from God, that same light of civilizational impulse, that will to power, if you are a Nietzschean, that will refract differently through each facet of the crystal. And that is what our racial ethnic makeup represents. That's why people of different genetic makeup around the world generate different types of cultural outcome.
Yeah, you could put it that way. I would put it a little differently in that culture is derived in large part from genetics. Genetics derives in large part from evolutionary history and geography and other factors as well. But race is just a different way of viewing genetics. But that's roughly the stack. And while culture is what we actually care about, the influence genetics has on it is big enough that we should care about genetics a bit as well.
Right. Like if you want your house to function and be good, you have to care about the building materials, even though the building materials aren't what you interface with in a house.
Sure, that's one way of putting it. Yeah, it's abstractions, basically.
Yeah. All right. When it comes to your personal identity, what do concepts that are often thrown around in the circles with the challenges we face today, words like white, British, English, Western, Christian, European descent, how do those things factor into your identity and how you see yourself?
Maybe I'm not the best person to ask because I'm very non-prone to group identity and thinking personally.
That's what I thought it
but
would
I
be an
know
interesting
that
question to ask you.
yeah, that stuff does matter a lot to a lot of people, and I think it's important for people to care about at least some of the groupings they're in. And nation state is an important one. Ethnicity, fine, doesn't appeal as much to me, but it's fine. But if you, what's that noise? If you are pro your nation, then you're much more likely to, because nation state is the scale at which evolution sort of determined is the best for that kind of organization level. There's obviously sub-levels within that, but the nation state's probably the strongest cellular divide among people in the world. And so I think it's very important to maintain that. There's a reason that we settled on that structure, and it's very important to maintain it. We are all sort of in this ship together. If it's sprung a leak, then anyone can fix it. Anyone on the ship, theoretically, can fix it. People that specialize in different ways, sure, but everyone on the ship can fix it. But if no one does, everyone suffers.
Agreed.
So caring about your nation and feeling attached to it is important because of the better things you'll do as a result. Other groupings are important too, but it's up to each individual person. But I think the best way to not even have to worry about that is to find genetic lines that are of high quality. So it's meritocratic ultimately. It doesn't have to be derived from the same skin color or region of the world, but usually that's the safest bet.
Yeah, and meritocracy is, of course, important, and I think that's a very white man thing, just judging from how we see the non-whites who come in tend to act in groups. They tend to be much more nepotistic than we are, but it might just be because we've had, a long time to sort of refine the process of civilization. And I do think that it is important to not just see race. I think that many people on the white identity side of things need to understand that there needs to be more to build with as we reclaim and retake what's rightfully ours. We need to not forget the things that made us great and successful in the first place, such as adherence to meritocracy and removing criminals.
I tell you what it probably is this is borrowed from a lot of different ideas, but word in my own way. And I know some of this stuff Aydin said too. Where in the world there is lighter skin, it correlates well with lower temperature regions, and those lower temperature regions require more long-term thinking in order to survive. Yep. Therefore, exactly. Yeah. Therefore, the time, but it's not just that though. I would word it a little bit differently as well. The time horizon for each individual is a measure, essentially, in my opinion, of how far forward they're looking to find the low energy state. Because everything in the universe is trying to find its lowest energy state and move towards it. If you're looking 15 seconds ahead to find your lowest energy state, then you're going to be more concerned with your own advantages, your own benefit, and things that make you feel good in the moment. But you don't really care what happens to you in a day. You don't have the ability to. But if your lowest energy state is in a year, if that's sort of the scope you're looking at in a year, what can I do now to perhaps raise my energy state that I'll end up in a lower one than I am now in a year? That leads to being good to other people, being actually beneficial, because we're not just doing it just because it's ultimately materially beneficial, but because it's so heavily abstracted, it has so heavily abstracted and so time separated, you get a lot more options of how to do it. And it turns out, as per game theory, cooperation is more effective. But you do kind of need a long-term perspective for it to work. And you do kind of need reputation and identity as well, and to care about these things beyond yourself, to be civilly responsible. All these things come together to form a working pattern. So it's not a coincidence that light skin appears to correlate with that stuff. It's not a coincidence that the dark skin doesn't. And so as much as it would be nice to think that that like skin color is not is just something that we can just get along with. And there's individuals that are exceptions, but it really would make sense for it to correlate that strongly with the effects that produce civilization.
Indeed.
And I advocate strongly for judging individuals by their actions, but sometimes you don't have the refinement, definition, or time, the resolution to note every individual. Sometimes survival comes first. So collective reasoning is important. Individual reasoning is better, but only if you can.
Well, I agree with you in that concept, because for me, seeing race and seeing the racial ethnic problems that we face, I still judge people as individuals. But when I talk about policy or what needs to be done or what should be policy or law or prevented or kept out, obviously, I'm sure there are plenty of great, nice, kind, sweethearted people that live in places like India or Iran or Israel. But I don't want them moving here in numbers. I don't want any of them moving here in numbers. I would like all of those countries I mentioned to be blacklisted for immigration. But that doesn't mean that individually, several of them wouldn't be wonderful, nice people.
Yeah. Another thing is that if they move here, their country's going to turn to shit, then we have to fucking fix it.
Well, on that note, let's leave it off and see who else wants to take this series of questions next. Any volunteers?
Well, I guess if no one else is going to jump at it, I mean, I think it'd be difficult again for Christopher. I guess I wanted to answer this for Belgium, right?
Well, you just it doesn't have to be American. I just phrased that because originally I thought I was going to have different people for today, and
I'm trans-American, so I can answer. I identify as American.
You actually have quite a diverse and a non-American panel tonight.
Yeah, it ended up that way. Yeah,
my answer will be weird too.
So, like I said earlier, just replace American with whatever your ethnic group is. But we're all white here, so it still applies.
So, what does being an American mean?
What does I assume you consider yourself an American ethnically still, right?
Well, I'll always be an American. Actually, funnily enough, someone just said something to me about that on Twitter. Was it like, you lived there too long and you think you're not an American anymore? It's like, no, I mean, obviously, an American is in some ways something that you are from birth, right? Now, this is that one way that all countries work essentially at this point. But I think the United States is probably the only one where there's the idea that really is ingrained in it, that you can become an American. Like, you cannot become British, right? You can't do that. I mean, they'll say that, but that idea isn't within the Gestalt in the same way it is in America. So
right.
I do think you need to be ideally born in America, but that is not the way that people think about it. That would be something I would prefer in that sense, and not just anchor baby either, right? Properly. So I don't know, in terms of the identity of being an American, is difficult for me to.
Well, look, this is a personal question. Don't try to answer it abstractly like a scientist. To you personally, to you, the woman sitting there right now, what does being an American mean to you? I'd love to hear it. What does it mean to you?
And what does being British mean to you? Since you're gradually becoming it.
I am not, but I'm not. So, and cannot be. That was my point. And fuck off. Okay, I pronounce. Look, never mind. Sorry, that wasn't a aside.
This stream's going to be long enough. I have both of you here.
Yeah. I know. I honestly don't know what it means to me personally, because I've largely. I mean, unfortunately, I've come to have a lot of issues with with America.
Well, look, me too, girl. Like, you've been on my stream a million times. I hate a bunch of shit here too.
So it's I honestly, right now, it makes me feel a bit ashamed. It's probably the feeling that I relate. Yeah, that I would relate to it most frequently anymore. And I don't like feeling that way. I didn't used to feel that way. I do currently. Whereas I feel a sense of pride in my other identities, being white, Western, Christian, European descent. Sure, those aren't things that I find anything shameful about, at least in the way that.
Really? Because to me, I feel like it would be the same kind of shame. Because look at what white people have done to ourselves. Look at the corruption and failure of Christian establishments. Look at how the West has fallen.
But I look at the history
most
of
the criticisms and shame that I feel for being American could easily be extended to the rest of our civilizational group.
I think it's because I feel like a lot of the foundational, that the issues with America today are foundational in nature. That they trace back to its origins, and so I kind of think that the way that America has gone was inevitable on some level. Maybe a lot of these things were inevitable, but And again, I don't hate the United States, and I don't hate Americans or anything like that whatsoever. I just feel deeply ashamed of some aspects of it. I don't feel ashamed of being white. I don't feel ashamed of being Western or Christian or of European descent. And I think that's because I can look back at the history of it, and there is so much more history, and of the greatest civilizations on the planet, right? And so that does factor into my identity. Whereas I think I think the problems with America are fundamental and built into it. But why should it be protected by law? I mean, it is protected by law. It's just for some reason the SCOTUS is not recognizing the Naturalization Act of 1790, which is that citizenship is restricted to a free white person of good character. So that's
which was
why
always the intention
yes.
in the beginning. It was always the intention. Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
America,
I mean, it's 1790, you know?
I could do an entire series on debunking the modern lie of the propositional nation for America.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, America did have built into it the concept of becoming American from elsewhere, but it was for a narrow subset of people that we already knew we were racially and spiritually connected to anyway.
Yes. So I think that should be protected by law as it is written in the Naturalization Act of 1790.
Excellent answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. Tree Godfather, you probably have similar thoughts on this as I do. I'd love to hear your answers to some of these questions if you'll take a stab at it.
Oh, I bet you do. I feel incredible disappointment with this decision,
Same.
but absolutely no surprise.
Same.
I posted several months ago that I said it was going to be a 7-2 decision, and it really is a 7-2 decision when it comes right down to it, with Thomas and Alito in the dissent. I think that was my prediction. My forefathers came here in 1639. They never left Britain. This was Britain when they arrived. And through tons of hard work, lots of blood, lots of sweat, they built this nation, along with many others of Western kind. I am deeply disappointed at the concept of no longer, I don't have a nation. We don't have sovereignty. It's like owning a home. If you can't control who goes into your home and lives there, do you really have control over your home? The modern parlance of America is an idea that anybody can adopt is pure anti-white garbage. Bottom to top. America is America because of Western kind, because white people, colloquially, came over here and expressed their biospirit onto this North American continent. That's what created Canada. That's what created the United States. Without us, there is no America. It comes from within inside us. This white erasure that we've allowed to happen through white guilt is why we have the Supreme Court we do. You have 3 vehemently anti-white women on one corner. You have a Trump pick who you knew was anti-white because she opted out of the white race with her adopting non-white children.
Yep. I've never liked or trusted her. I knew she was trouble from the beginning.
Absolutely not. Clarence Thomas is there because of white erasure, but he himself is not anti-white. Ironically, his decisions generally uphold white well-being. So
They
that's
do.
Can you
good to know.
confirm that every good racist wants 9 Clarence Thomases on the court?
I sure do. That's my
Pretty
ideal
much.
Supreme Court, right? I mean, really, yeah.
People ask me if people ask me if Judge Thomas is our honorary white. No, he's our honorary Uncle Ruckus.
He just
when he
about law, you know.
Racist is an anti-white slur. I'll never forget that.
If he were ever to retire, he's just going to start Uncle Ruckusing all over the place. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
He's just bursting at the seams to say, "Hang on, I got the rope right here." You'll notice
This goes
I
to show
didn't say
you
the
that
word
none
on
of the
your
laws
stream.
matter.
Actually, Years, are we allowed to say the word on your stream?
You can say whatever words you want.
Wow.
Well,
If I
shit.
could choose any word, which one, nigger?
Of all the words, yeah. Oh, okay, never mind.
No, but
Aydin will say it too. Go ahead, Aydin. You're not a coward. Go on.
Tree Godfather, we all understand that racist is basically an anti-white slur when it's used seriously against people. But no, we say it as like an internet meme joke whenever we're talking about, being a good racist or whatever. It's like
I think that there is a useful use of it in there somewhere, like the individualist version, but it's not really worth it because no one understands it that way anyway, even though they should. So I'm using it ironically.
And the term has been corrupt and anti-white since its inception
Exactly.
back in the early 1900s. It's always been a problem for creating social division to be exploited by those who want to damage society.
I could believe that.
Present company knows this, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with how I feel as an American. It's my birthright. We have the right to inherit the successes of our ancestors. We have the right to bequeath those successes to our progeny. And it's stolen. And now it's officially stolen from. It's been stolen for years because they've been getting this wrong since one Kim Ark, which itself was a bad decision. But yeah, my birthright is now a free for all for whoever can outbreed me at this point. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And that's the just have more kids game. That's not a good angle to take in the situation we're in because unless we beat anti-whiteism as an opposing force, as an opposing religion, then it doesn't matter how many kids we have. The anti-white cunts in charge will just flood our living spaces with too many people for us to compete with that. Like, this is why I like the message of the Go Free stuff is tackling the disease, the mental sickness of anti-whiteism is what we have to face because it doesn't matter how many kids we have. If that disease still exists, it'll just infect them.
Yes,
correct.
Yes, it'll infect them. And also, I mean, we are a global minority. So, already at a disadvantage in terms of outbreeding the rest of the world, even if people did just have as many kids as they possibly could, right? And then you risk them all being infected with the same stuff. So you need to root out the disease at its core,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why it's important to inoculate our kids with the Go Free, for sure.
Indeed. That's why I push it so much. We haven't heard from Christopher yet, and I'd like to hear from him before we wrap up and move on. Christopher, what does being Belgian mean to you and all these other things? How do these factor into your identity? What does it mean? What do these things mean to you?
I won't go into the lengthy answer, but it's a bit of what Tree Godfather said. It's when I actually take time to reflect on my family, my lineage, my little town where I grew up. It's a sad feeling to see basically your inheritance in a way and your future at the same times wasting away. Like Tears in the Rain for people who know the reference.
That is an excellent reference. Good job.
It's very sad. It's very sad because I want to have kids to pass it on to show them the things I experienced when I grew up and maybe attain some new heights that I won't be able to. The more and more time pass, the more I feel that having kids is almost a duty as a human being. I understand that some don't want to, but in a way, it's just nature. It's just a fact. It's something you feel a calling to. I think every human do. And as a white race, it's bad to put it that way, but as a civilization, as an ethnic group, as a culture, as Aydin said, and Uzalu, it's you want to share it to other people. Like, see, kid, this is like the Chapelle 16. See, this is the Köln cathedral that took like almost 1,000 years to build. See, this is the Lincoln Memorial and everything. You want to share that with other people and your kids and your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your everyone. So yeah, it's a feeling of sadness because something that is part of us is taken away. As Tree Godfather says, it's a steal, it's a robbery, it's someone tear that apart from you.
Well said. Well said. So see, English isn't even Christopher's native language, and look how good he is with words. You can tell he's an excellent.
Very well articulated. Very well.
Thank you.
All right. Well, as you can see on the scrolling marquee at the bottom, I would deeply appreciate it if you would share some of your hard-earned dollary dues with me. You can do so over on Cash App. Buy Me a Coffee is what I've had to replace Entropy with, sadly, since Entropy got taken out by the anti-white curs. So if you can send me some of your dollars, say again.
Oh, did it? Sorry, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Entropy a few months earlier this year, like I think in February, because Nick Fuentes brought in a lot of money via Entropy. A bunch of the anti-white media jackals up in Canada made a bunch of hit pieces smearing Entropy and pressuring Entropy, and then reached out to the bank that the couple who ran Entropy used and got them debanked. And so all of a sudden they had to scramble to try to get another bank in another place. And then right when they were about to get everything up and running again, the same people contacted that bank and threatened them with legal action. And so they got shit canned again. And they just, at that point, they were already like 2 months behind and they just couldn't continue. So unfortunately, we lost Entropy to anti-whites.
That sucks. Yeah, I actually have a little bit of personal history with Entropy, but I never wanted that to happen. That really sucks. Yeah. Best of luck to them on sorting that.
Same. Emmanuel and Rachel are the couple who run it, and they're really nice Orthodox Christian couple. And they don't know where they're going from here, but I talked to them on Discord, and they said if they're going to reassess and see what it is they can do, and then they might start up something else if they have the gumption to do so. But they basically went bankrupt over that, so it's very sad.
If I was living in Canada, I'd be trying to find any way to emigrate to the US right now.
Yeah. Oh, Ardent Party relates. He is a trans American in chat right now. But anyway, like I was saying, over on Subscribestar, if you would like to see your name in that awesome intro video by Lomax Designs and in the ending slide of all my uploaded videos, head over to Subscribestar, pick a support tier, and your name will go in those graphics. And I have support tiers even as low as $1 a month if you just want your name on there to help me keep the lights on. And I will be checking all of these sites to see what you guys have to say after each dragon and again at the end during the treasure. So let's go ahead and move on now. Let me drop that banner and bring back the dragons. All right, we started with the red dragon, which was Identity Crisis, which leaves 4 dragons for the evening. Mr. Uzalu, you're the party leader. Would you like to choose the next dragon or have a party member make the next choice?
Well, I feel like there are as many dragons as there are people here, or one less, actually. So let's go down the list. Aydin, why don't you take the next one? And then for the last one that we don't have the right number of people for, Yes, do you have a little text version of this that you could send over? And I will ask my robot mascot to pick the last. Oh, no, wait, no. There's no picking the last one. Damn it, that doesn't work then.
No, what you can do is you can have your robot randomly pick which one of you is the first to answer.
There you go.
Well, okay.
Or I can just,
it'll take a while to type it.
Or I could just reach onto my nightstand and roll a d4.
It'll take a while to type it. Aydin does this one, right? Because we would need a decision. Next time I will ask the robot.
Okie dokie. Okay. Let's do crime and the criminal, shall we?
Crime and the criminal from the green dragon. Yes, sir. Next. Here we go. Oh, this is going to make you mad, Aydin.
Oh, no. I said I figured.
Waltz. Minnesota board pardons, clears convicted illegal alien child sex offender facing deportation. Minnesota officials, including Democrat Governor Tim Walz, last month pardoned an illegal immigrant who was previously convicted of raping a 10-year-old girl who was slated to be deported. With the recommendation of the Minnesota Clemency Review Commission, the Minnesota Board of Pardons, led by Waltz, State Attorney Keith Ellison, and Chief Justice Natalie Hudson, granted a pardon for a Laos national with the last name of Vang, 42, at its June 10 meeting, according to a letter informing Vang of the decision. The pardon essentially gives Vang a clean slate. Being granted,
is this the guy who there was an issue with earlier this year? Or was it last year? It was another lady in Minnesota. Sorry.
This is a guy who served prison time for grooming and raping a 10 to 14-year-old girl multiple times during the formative years of her life. He was finally caught and went to jail for it for a while. And he's been living in Minnesota ever since. According to what I can read about him, he has not broken any laws. That doesn't mean he isn't an anti-white piece of shit that shouldn't be executed. But apparently he has, quote unquote, lived legally and lived lawfully the last however many years since then. But anyway, being granted a pardon is a notable achievement and a reflection of the work you have done since your conviction, the letter said that Stark wrote to Vang. He was convicted in 2006 of this criminal misconduct because between 2002 and 2006, he repeatedly raped the same girl between ages 10 and 14 during that period. At one point, he even offered her $10 to keep quiet about the abuse. Wow, big spender. He pleaded guilty to this, and of course, I'm sorry, he didn't go to prison. He took a plea deal that spared him from even going to prison for habitually raping a girl for 4 years. It was a white girl, by the way. Governor Tim Walz's decision to pardon an illegal alien convicted child rapist so he can remain in our country is disgusting, said DHS Acting Assistant Secretary Lauren Biss. These are criminal illegal aliens he and his Minnesota sanctuary politicians are protecting. Biss noted that Vang lost his legal status following his conviction. Fox News Digital has reached out to Walz, the White House and Ramsey County Attorney's Office, which prosecuted Vang for the assaults. When he was arrested on charges back in 2005, he admitted to raping the girl, but blamed cultural norms in Thailand, according to the complaint obtained by the New York Times.
He's Laotian.
Yeah, he's Laotian. Like I said, he's from Laos.
What does it have to do with culture? Sorry.
Because he's from Thailand, even though he was born in Laos. So it's very similar. But anyway, the CRC, which included 9 members, voted to approve Mr. Vang's petition in April. 4 members voted in favor, 2 voted against, and 3 were simply absent. So he was granted his pardon by numbers there. Anyway, that's what happened, and that's basically the end of it. And there we go.
Do you have an overlay you can bring up similar to my do not crime overlay?
Yeah, I think it's necessary. I mean, we could just say
something. Let me go ahead and belt out 3 words here. Americans have guns.
Let's save that. Save that for after the dragon. I need both of you to shut the fuck up. We're going to talk after the dragon. Very good. Because we got to get to this
please.
We have to get to this cute little green with us that's here tonight. The green with us tonight is young for a dragon. Not even a century old, but his clan wants him to learn more about Earth in preparation for helping steward the human civilization of their world. He chose this story tonight to ask us about punishing criminals, specifically in regards to tempering punishment with sensibility. Aydin, this question comes to you first. Do you think prison time for violent and vile crimes like this offender is noble and just? More importantly, do you think rehabilitation is possible for these criminals, and is it worth the risk to society?
Is prison time for violent and vile criminals noble and just? For some criminals, sure. For this guy, no. I mean, it's just, crime, but as Uzalu said, yes, Americans have guns. One, we also have lots of strong rope. We've got all kinds of things, that we could use to take care of this problem. Honestly, no, he doesn't deserve prison time. He does deserve death for this, which is one of, if not the most heinous crime that one can commit. I mean, it's difficult to compare the crime to murder. In either way, you are stealing someone's future. So in that sense, they are comparable. But for some crimes, I suppose, maybe prison has some ameliorative effects on negative behavior. If those behaviors are unfortunately driven by, gang affiliation, or I'm trying to think of anything that it actually probably does work on. Maybe if you went crazy on like a coke bender or something, then you have to get clean because you're in prison. I don't know. So maybe something like that helps. But unfortunately, recidivism rates are incredibly high. I'm not saying to put people to death, but it's the best way we know what to do with people who do commit serious crimes. Then again, there's harmless crimes like, I don't know, tax evasion or something. I'm not sure people who evade taxes don't continue doing it when they get out either. But for the type of criminal this guy is, no, rehabilitation is not possible. it is not worth the risk to society to even bother with it. I think that is the case for both, child sexual abuse and for murder. I don't think there's any coming back from that. If you've
I agree.
murdered someone in cold
And like
blood
I've
or
said
you've
many
hurt a
times
child,
on my channel, I think that one of the things that made Europe have a thriving civilization, and we were one of the first to achieve it, is because we regularly exterminated criminals.
Mhm.
And I think we need to bring that back. I think that
Yeah.
if you are a serial rapist, if you kill people, if you are a habitual breaker or a violent, armed robber,
Yeah.
if you're just a violent savage that can't be reasoned with, you get the rope.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's just, you have to do that if you want a civilization to be a functional, high trust, large civilization. You have to quite literally purge that element from your national genetic pool. You have to get rid of it.
You do. You need to get rid of it, and unfortunately, the other aspect of it is that the civilization should not pay to keep these people alive, because that's what they end up doing.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Anything else before we move on?
No, that's it.
I have a comment on that. Back in the day, like a very, very long time ago, we used to do the exile solution, which was in a way viable long time ago, but today it's not feasible anymore. Like it's not like someone can go into the wilderness and face beasts to gain the new right on life and civilization and build a city on their own and stuff like that. Today it's not possible. So in a way, it's almost like an obligation to mankind to cut out these bad roots.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Stumbling here. Good comment. You can't walk back child grape. There's no going back from that. Sorry. You get the ropes. You get the rope for that. So, who's next?
I mean, it's such a pleasant topic.
Well, I take your volunteer. Let me go ahead and say that my robot picked the work farce, but you can pick whatever you want. Just take that as a hint. Like,
maybe
so
one day.
go ahead, Tree,
maybe one day
she's volunteered.
Maybe one day when you give Cabby a voice, you can come on here and she can be a guest with you and Aydin.
Yeah, it's viable, but the latency is the issue. But it's not. It's definitely possible.
Yeah. So anyway, sure, Uzalu, take these questions. What do you think about all this? Because I know you have a different, less harsh opinion than I do. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I think if we're talking about the actuality of the situation, is it better if some people in the world, is it better for the world if some people in the world die and stop existing? Yes. But the transition from one state to the other state is where you get some issues. If you're going to normalize state execution as a policy, when the state is healthy, that's just going to be pretty much unambiguously a good thing. Mistakes will be low enough, and you'll have enough time to make sure that you probably get roughly 0 people who are innocent executed, but still some, so it's a bit of a problem there. You don't want to be that person. Falsely accused, a lot of forms of evidence aren't that singular anyway. But if your state is unhealthy, then you have potentially produced a way to normalize tribal assassinations, I should say, sorry. Yep. If the US had a little bit more leeway on that, a few less, 1 or 2 less checks and balances, or just a little bit less attention to the matter, would they have wanted to assassinate Trump before he became president the second time? Potentially. It depends whether you think Trump is someone they're okay with or not. But you get the idea. A figure like that who actually does challenge the establishment, they could easily use that as a tool. So that's where my hesitation comes from. Not because it isn't effective, but because I don't trust the state. But life in prison or exile for non-rehabilitable crimes, because pedophilia I think it's just lifelong. If you do that once, then no mercy. You don't get free. Your life is now under the ward of the state. That's it. Or Haiti. Find a country in the world that can't say no to you deporting them there, and that's probably about the right level of quality that they deserve. the average pedophile living in the US, particularly I'm foreign-born, being deported to Haiti seems appropriate.
Yeah, I'm okay with that if we're talking lock them up and throw away the key as of putting them on a
Yeah.
deserted island, putting them in a place where they can't come back. What I don't like is the way our prison systems work. I don't want horrible offenders and evil criminals going into this, basically, I don't know what to call it, a sort of like permanent hotel situation where they have cable TV, they get to exercise, they have books, they get 3 hots and a cot. I don't think people who are the worst scum of society deserve that level of minimal living. I think they deserve to be jettisoned from all of the luxuries that proper society has built.
I think that might make them more likely to make running the prison much more difficult. So I'm definitely with you to some degree, but there's other factors involved, I think. Justice-wise, you're right. But practicality-wise, I can see why it might be mediated.
And again, practicality-wise, we will have to have just men taking control and making our countries more just before we can have any of this stuff happen anyway. So that's why I say I do want to see a return to form of what made our civilization in the first place, which was just men making tough decisions, punishing or eliminating the bad guys in swift, harsh ways that minimized the proliferation of the crime mentality. And that requires brutality, unfortunately.
Maybe, I mean, when it comes to, if the law isn't doing their job, then vigilantism is inevitable. And if the village want to string up the known pedophile, see ADL, and kill him, then my opposition to capital punishment isn't really a factor at that point, and the state won't do their job, so the people are going to have to. Justice is more important than hang-ups about how it's done. It must be done.
Is more important than legal function. I agree.
Well, it must be done one way or the other. The right way of doing it, the proper way of doing it, is how it should be done. But if it won't be done that way, it must still be done. So I'm kind of surprised. It'd be an interesting idea to try this out. We find an island somewhere that's uninhabited, big enough for the world's criminal population, and then we surround it with some battleships and shoot anything that comes off it.
Isn't that the movie with Kurt Sutter, New York something?
I don't know, but that's where you'd send the unrehabilitatable criminals.
Well, Tree Godfather, I want to hear from you on this one. What do you think?
Well, this is a very personal subject, which I won't get into why. But this is the systemic anti-whiteism we deal with because of white erasure. We have an anti-white governor in charge of a white erased and anti-white parole board that allows this criminal imported anti-white terrorist to do these kinds of things to a daughter of the West. If we enforced our norms of behavior and standards for civility, he would be marched at 5 meters and shot in the fucking face with a yeet cannon, and his head would disappear. He would be beheaded instead of deported. But since we don't enforce our norms, here we are. And this is disgusting. I have dealt with this issue as a child, and this daughter of the West will never be the same again. I know that for a fact. If we enforced our norms, we would not popularize or enable this crap. As you pointed out earlier, we used to deal with these by putting these people in the ground. And we're not talking about somebody for petty theft.
No.
We're talking about the absolute most pervasive and most disgusting people in a society who would never have been here if it weren't for the white erasure of our norms and standards. Because we had laws that prevented him from even coming here. So this is just another part of anti-whiteism. There's ways to deal with this, but it's not going to happen through the legal system. We need to end systemic anti-whiteism first, or we're never going to recapture our destiny. That's a fact.
Well, certainly.
And I'll leave it there.
So you agree with the others that rehabilitation for the worst of the worst isn't possible, and it's a complete waste of resources and time?
Well, if you believe in reincarnation, maybe he can be rehabilitated in the next life. But in this one, yeah, he's fucking
Hey,
done.
that's a good idea. Let's just send all the bad people to India.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
seems to me, that seems to me, isn't that what Australia was supposed to be like? A whole island for criminals, and they went and built Western
Too
civilization.
big,
Of course,
too viable.
that is our biospirit. And
Yeah,
I
it
think
just
the other guy he was talking about Kurt Russell in Escape from New York. I think that was the movie he was trying to reference.
Escape from New York is the
Yeah,
ridiculous,
thank you.
silly one. The first one, no. Escape from LA
from
is
LA.
the silly one. That's
Yes,
the
the
second
silly
one.
one.
Yeah. No, Escape from New York is a pretty
is,
cool movie. Yeah, it's from
Yes,
the 80s.
yes.
Yeah, that's a good movie. The only thing I really liked
heavily inspired Men
about
of
the
Gear.
silly one was the ending. It had a perfect ending. The way that Escape from LA ended was excellent. But anyway, I don't want to spurg about movies. So, Christopher, you're the last one to answer this question. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Anything that you would like to share?
In France, they did a nice thing called the guillotine. You should look into it.
True,
But-
they did.
Amen.
Joke aside, there is no downside to me to kill a very dangerous person that goes to the length of murder, rape, and all of that jazz. Unfortunately, in Europe and France, Belgium, Germany, we have like almost daily news of a new massacre for some kid or girl or even sometimes elder. It's to the point that we are blasé about it. We don't like just another one that the daily news. So yeah, it's you have no downside to get rid of people like that. Honestly, I just don't see it. Like, is it a moral argument? Is it a practical argument? Is it an economic argument? All checks out.
Yeah. Like I think that the people who are the vilest, worst people definitely deserve to be removed. Like that's how we had good civilization in the first place. And like someone said in the chat earlier, we used to also defend our young girl's virginity, her purity. We used to actually care about that and be invested in that. But now look at how just absolutely quite erased all of those norms have become.
Yeah, I don't
Can
know
I,
if you.
can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to borrow something that Hans pointed out. Hans is a member of our community, a very, very intelligent man. And I just wanted to point out that we don't put these people in the ground because we hate them. We do that because we love the rest of our people. And we want to protect them from that.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, no,
it's a thing I was going to. I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something akin to, what's the word again? Mercy to the perpetrator is cruelty on the victim. Something like that. I think it's someone in the US.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
mercy for the criminal is injustice for the victim.
So even if you have the pacifist pro-life, but if you kill a murderer, there is the same number of murderers in the world. Yeah, but what about the victim, who most of the time is not there anymore?
Yeah,
and the future victims, because again, as I mentioned, recidivism on pretty much all crimes is fairly high.
Especially the worst of the worst. Like they're like that by nature.
Yes,
they will become repeat offenders if you let them.
And for if you're so deranged that this would ever be a thought that could occur to you, and then that you do it, I don't believe you can be reformed. No,
same.
So
same.
No, I don't know if you are on the other side of the pond have heard about the Louis story in France. It's a little guy, a little adolescent man. I think he was 16 or 17. He had ADHD, I think. And he was beaten up to death by a group of, like the usual suspects.
This. Yes.
Yeah, and the most horrendous thing about it is that they filmed the guy agonizing, dying. They posted it on the internet and even laugh about it, like on the trip back home on the bus. Like, we killed someone today, lol. So how can you hope anything from someone like that? And even the justice knew about this because they had a complaint and even a video again for the first instance. Like he was pursued and run down by the same guy who punched him out. But this time they didn't kill him the first time. So there was a precedent on the police and the justice system. And they say, don't care. I have a bridge this day on the weekend, and Maria want to buy a horse, and I don't know. So how can you do? What can you do except hoping for a citizen vigilante movie?
Well, with that, let's go ahead and move to paid chats. We had quite a few come in here. As a reminder, I prefer to receive paid chats via Buy Me a Coffee and Cash App. They're fast and easy. You can say quite a bit, and they don't take a very large cut. We have several to get to. Starting over on PayPal, we have from CC again. Let's see here. I forget who CC. Oh, no, that's you. That's you, Christopher, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's you. Right? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Okay. $1 from Christopher Everard here over on PayPal. Here's the blackmail dollars that you snagged off of me for each appearance on the Clan Dragon podcast. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Over on Rumble, we had Captain Corgi in for 50 cockin' dollars. Thank you so much, Captain Corgi. Shekels for you, ma'am, is all he said with that $50. I deeply appreciate it. Money is tight and things are expensive these days. Thank you so much for sharing that much with me. Deeply appreciate it. Over on, let's see. I think I had one pop up on Cash App. Oh, no, that was just a stupid video game notification. Over on Buy Me a Coffee, a good friend of the Uzalu chat, Miss Nachos. Nachos is a friend of mine from Cabal.
Hey.
Hi, Nachos. Thank you for being here tonight. She sends in $25. Thank you so much, sweetheart. She says, first time I've caught Yiz streaming. Go get some sushi. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. That's a bit of an inside joke we won't go into here. So we'll leave that one be. All right. So let's go ahead and drop the banner and bring back the dragons. That was the green dragon. So next up, we have 3 choices. We have the work farce, finding the path to justice, and the fight to repair. Mr. Uzalu, you're the party leader, and you decreed that we would be going down the list, which means the Tree Godfather chooses the next topic. What will it be, sir?
We'll go with the work farce. That sounds interesting.
All right.
That's what Cabby chose. Makes sense.
Hopefully you will this will lead to good conversation, because it is about something. Well, I'm sure many of us have been professionals that have been replaced by diversity. So let's go ahead and move over to this article. More than 10,000 Haitian workers in Massachusetts will lose immigration protections, a move that could decimate industries. Chris White expects to lose.
Right.
Oh, so sad. Chris White expects to lose 28 employees following the Supreme Court ruling last Thursday that allows hundreds of thousands of Haitian and Syrian migrants to be expelled from the country. That will bring the number of workers that White has had to let go during President Trump's immigration crackdown to 130, more than 1/8 of the workforce at the development disabilities provider Road to Responsibility.
Oh, no.
Oh, good God.
Oh,
no.
Oh, so
Well,
anyway.
they help disable. Oh my God, this is a godsend. You know,
Yeah,
Great.
this is great. Quote, it's not like these folks were taking the jobs Americans would be doing. This is an anti-white lie, by the way. We've covered that many times.
Despite his name.
Despite his name. No, definitely one of the anti-white whites who had to, or actually, wait, that's a noun last name. Could be a Jew. A lot of times their names are like that.
That's
But anyway,
true.
like Stone and shit like that. Anyway.
What's his name? What White?
His name is Chris White. So it could literally be about anyone.
Yeah, that's
a
very generic name, though. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, again, could be a Jew. Anyway, whoever he is, definitely anti-white. He says the reality is we don't have enough people to do the work. More than 10,000 Haitians. God, 10,000 Haitians in Massachusetts. There are that many Haitians just in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is tiny.
It's by the way,
Yeah, there is.
So the Syrian number, the number of Syrian immigrants, is something like 30 to 50,000. I don't recall exactly. The
My
Haitians,
God.
it's hundreds of thousands of them that came in the U.S. Because of the.
No,
what
I
was it that
know.
happened in
I
Haiti?
know
Yeah.
there are that many in the U.S.,
in-
but Massachusetts is tiny. There's 10,000 Haitians there. Good
Well,
God.
they all tend to move together. So when they decide to move,
Anyway.
when these people decide to move, they move in clusters and clumps like that.
Ape
Yeah.
together strong.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
literally.
Amy Nishman. That's another name you should recognize by this point. This is going to decimate certain industries here in Massachusetts. In September, we won't be able to get children to school because there won't be enough bus drivers. Oh, so sad. So anyway,
Shit.
right, exactly. All right, so let's move to the Black Dragon, shall we?
Fitting.
Right. The Black with us tonight is a vizier
That's
who works
badass.
closely with not only her clan, but several key members of the Great Dragon Council to help them make wise decisions. In her spare time, she enjoys speaking with wise representatives of the lesser creatures, which is what led her to this show, and she's glad to be speaking with us tonight. Tree Godfather, the question comes to you first. Sidestepping the usual lies promoting white erasure, do you believe removing immigrants will actually hurt the economy? Why or why not?
Not a single fucking bit. I keep hearing, first of all, you remember I grew up in Massachusetts and lived there for many, many years.
That might be
I
one of the
currently-
reasons why I chose this topic.
Oh, I figured. I also live not far from there. I'm only 20 minutes over the border. And I was recently, back in January, I was in the hospital in Massachusetts. And I can tell you, nobody's going to suffer from the loss of these people, economically or otherwise.
Yeah.
The vast majority are on public benefits, and the ones that work, visualize my air quotes here, they're anti-white as hell, unkempt, unprofessional, untrained, and shouldn't be allowed anywhere near anything other than a toilet brush and a toilet. Figuratively speaking, of course.
That would be an unseen luxury to a lot of them too.
Yes, it would. To be perfectly honest, we know, and I actually did a white paper on this 5 or 6 years ago, that these people in general consume $42.5 billion a year just in education benefits. So discounting they contribute 400 billion to the economy. They cost us far more than that. They also drive down wages for people that belong here. My fellow members of Western kind. So no, it's not going to do anything to damage the economy. It's just going to open up jobs. These places, the two biggest hospitals, like there's several in Boston. There's actually a whole block of them. Boston Children's, Beth Israel, I forget the other three, and then you have the UMass, the University of Massachusetts system, which is probably the single biggest hospital system in Massachusetts. They'll just have to actually pay our people what they're supposed to, rather than undercutting the wages to hire these people to come in and shit all over the white people like they do. Now, I was in the hospital 14 or 15 years ago. I had a really, really bad injury. I was in the hospital for over a year. And a lot of the lower tier caretakers, which I'll use liberally here, were either Ghani, however the hell you say it, they're from Ghana, or Haitians. And I remember very explicitly being covered in feces, vomit, urine, choking on the vomit, while teams of them were out, literally right outside my room, jibber jabbering and whatever it is that they speak, laughing and carrying on, 100 patient bells going off. They absolutely do not care about Western kind. They are all anti-white as hell. So no, we will not be injured if
We've
they
all seen
fuck off back
we've
to where
all
they
seen at
belong.
least a few of those thousands of videos going around about the non-white healthcare workers being negligent and directly abusive. Like
Well, I've experienced it. So yeah, here in Guernsey, by the way.
Mhm.
I
For
believe you.
whatever
I believe
reason,
you 100%.
all the nurses though at the hospital are all Africans, and
So that's my answer.
it's disgusting. Yeah.
That's not even true
You
here.
don't know.
Like, I definitely believe you, but I personally haven't experienced anything like that. I've been lucky, I suppose.
Well, I was inpatient in hospital for a long time. Remember?
Yeah, no, I definitely believe you, Aydin. It's just it's weird because I've always had good people deal with me in the NHS. I think I've just been lucky.
We don't have
Aydin,
NHS.
What is the local diaspora of your little island? Because I thought that maybe such an isolated place and a special place would be
They're
at least
English, you
a tiny
see.
bit. Yeah, but
Well, they're actually Normans, so which is a little bit different. I mean,
Bullying them.
the English were conquered by the Normans, of course, quite famously. At
No,
one
the
point.
English are partly the Normans.
So they are, yes. So the Anglo-Saxons were conquered by the Normans at one point in time. So yes, they're partially Norman, and Uzalu is very Norman coded. But
Indeed.
speaking of, yeah, the people in Guernsey are predominantly Norman. So their language is Guernsey French, Renaissance, right? So almost completely dead language, as is Jersey French. There's some attempt to revitalize that, but overwhelmingly, yes, it is white people, but native Guernsey. Because by the way, like I've mentioned this before, and I won't go off this too much. You can never become a citizen here. You can be a permanent resident if you marry someone or live with them, as I have, but you cannot become a citizen ever as a foreigner, which is very base.
so
Based.
what is your
Real.
what is your theory about how and why there is like a mode of deadlock on the job of nurse and stuff like that on your hospital?
I think the reason, geez,
I know the reason here, but I'll let Aydin speak for where she lives.
Sure.
First.
Why I think it's happening here is just because there is, and I feel weird because Bill's, obviously listening to this downstairs. So if I misspeak, Bill, tell me. He knows better than I do. But essentially, like a lot of people, young people, when they leave Guernsey to go get an education, right, they don't come back, and that's a big problem. So if young women who were born here and have Guernsey citizenship go to England and get a nursing degree, they don't tend to come back to Guernsey and work here. Many such cases. So instead, they have to bring in foreigners, or they feel that they have to bring in foreigners. You could bring in more English people or something. They're also foreigners.
So it's like an hospital policy or something like that.
I don't think it's policy. I think it's just that is because again, these people can't become citizens. They can only live here temporarily. So
yeah, there is weirdly not much
that's who's
incentive
available.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that they were, and most of them that I talked to, and by the way, a lot of the African women, they could barely speak English. They would laugh as old people would like. I mean, old people were screaming and crying in bed, and they just sit there and laugh and like, they don't give a fuck. It was absolutely horrific to be in that position, like just to see what they did. I couldn't imagine those poor old people. They were terrible to me as well. But I think that it's just they probably were NHS workers in England, and then for whatever reason they came to Guernsey.
Okay, because of course I know about the US, Europe, and stuff like that, but in a very weird place, quotation mark, like yours, it's impressive.
Yeah,
like they cannot find a local nurse. It's weird.
Like I said, I think the reason why, and the best nurse I had there consistently, she was Irish. She was excellent, by the way, but she also wasn't from Guernsey, but she was Irish, and I felt much safer with her in general. So I mean, like I don't know what's going on and why that is the case, but I imagine it is probably because, like I said, I think those women, almost probably big fat black African women, because that's what they were. Sorry, just truthfully, I think they probably had been hired on the NHS, and I don't know, Guernsey needs nurses. Native Guerns don't come back here. Oftentimes they leave because they do. By the way, they can lose their citizenship if they stay away from the island for too long too. That's another thing that's very base that I agree with. It should be like only people who've been here for so many generations or can be considered Guerns and literally get citizenship. You have to be born here to someone who is of here. Well, you can lose your citizenship. Yeah, go. Sorry, this got off track. Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to also answer the question that was asked. Why are there so many nons, especially African immigrants, in these low-paying, low-skilled positions of healthcare? I can answer this from the United States because I used to work in this industry. The answer is twofold. Number one, the anti-white ideology is supported by corporate theocracy. You have people all up and down the chain, small businesses and large businesses. The healthcare industry is very university and female coded. It is completely ran by anti-white shit libs that have had their minds destroyed on anti-whiteism. And they're already bleeding hearts. They already work in healthcare. They want to help people, but they've had their minds warped by all the anti-whiteism. And so they have been raised and trained to view the non-white as superior in value and superior in technique. You know, everything from the magical Negro to the brilliant Jeet doctor that comes from India, blah, 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 blah. Now, what makes this worse is the rotten, evil, anti-white government policies in bed with the rotten, evil, anti-white corporations. They have a financial mandate to get rid of the white workers and hire non-white workers. And that dovetails nicely with the bonus money and the tax breaks and the directives from all this Title 7 and 9 shit that we get from the Obama era that not only require them to have non-white, non-male quota, but they have corporate and financial incentives from the government to have immigrant and non-white workers. So it's this horrible combination of people who want to do the cancer anyway because they've been warped by it, and legal and financial imperatives to get rid of the whites and bring in the non-whites, especially the immigrants. It's disgusting.
Selfish individuals willing to profit off the demise of their own people.
Yeah, it's sick. It is absolutely sick. But let's talk about the economy. That's what the question was supposed to be about. So let's talk about, is removing immigrants actually bad for the economy? Does anybody else want to take this and talk about it a bit? Because I have some things to say if you guys don't.
Yeah, by the way, I don't. Okay, sure. No, I don't think it actually is supporting the economy. Yes, there's a ton of people who really are out of work. There's also a ton of jobs that are superfluous. Now, the jobs that immigrants typically take are the ones that, yes, most people do not want to do. However, they are jobs that somebody will do. And if you reduce the welfare state, people, so that they can't just live off of the government, someone's going to do those jobs. They will, because they'll need to survive. And the massive, by the way, so many immigrants are on benefits as well, and on the welfare as well. So they benefit from the system massively. People will do these jobs. Some of them will also be replaced by automation as things, improve technologically. Some of the ones that people really don't want to do. I don't know. Maybe we'll always need janitors, and maybe the Roomba will never do it correctly. But also, look, if you really cannot find an American who will do the job, and you need to bring in an immigrant because they're the only ones who will, can you make it? Can your janitor not be from Poland? They love cleaning toilets. So, like, I don't know. Choose a better quality of immigrant. I don't know. As I said earlier regarding the previous question, America does have an obvious basis in white European countries. So if you want to bring over someone to clean your toilets, can you not bring in a Polish person?
Or any poor white person from Appalachia,
Yes.
Perhaps. We need money. We need work.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. Actually, good point. There's no jobs in Appalachia because of 100 years of Democrat policy.
Yep.
Why don't you just, give those people an actual job?
There's massive parts of the US with chronic unemployment. And people in the US, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them are willing to move around to where the jobs are.
Yes.
But if there's no jobs for them anywhere, but there are jobs for foreigners everywhere, that's just horrible. That can't work.
And apparently these companies, they will pay to bring over, Indians to do not jobs that require no skill. They'll pay for the. They'll actually pay for it.
Here's a good example of what I'm talking about.
To do that.
Here's a good example of what I'm talking about. I had my CDL for a long time. I like being a driver. I don't like doing big rig coast to coast. I like doing medical transport, delivery vans, work trucks, things like that, right? I applied to several major cities in the east part of the United States. Chattanooga, Knoxville, the Tri-Cities area. I sent in my resume over and over and over again. I'm qualified, no accidents, tens of thousands of professional miles driven, no accidents, great recommendations from previous employers. I never get a call back, ever. And I see a business that does industrial delivery, delivering parts for working on machines, so everything from machine tools to things that hospitals need, etc. I go in, I shake hands, I talk to people. The people running the office are white, and they look like anti-white shit lips. I asked them, I see you, I see you have help wanted up. Yeah, oh, we'd love that. Give us your resume. I talk to them, we have a great conversation, never hear anything back from them. I go back in a month later, position's filled. I go into the parking lot, 2 Negroes and an Indian are the drivers. And that's here in East Tennessee. I live in a county that's 97.7% white as per the last census. And they don't hire me, a local, with professional experience and a great resume, and they hire a Jeet and 2 Negroes.
That's the anti-white narrative.
That's where we're at. Exactly. That's why I talk about we have to defeat anti-whiteism, because no amount of other moving things around or trying other things is going to work. We have to take back what's ours, and it starts inside us. It starts with generating a positive mindset that will live in our people, to put our people first. Nothing else. Nothing else works.
This lie that without non-whites, who's going to do these jobs? Well, our people did these jobs. Our people created most of these jobs, for fuck's sake. We did these jobs just fine before your greedy ass brought them here to white erase our people from the job because you wanted to make a few more fucking dollars. It's just anti-white bullshit.
Indeed.
So I only have one little thing to add on this. I agree with almost everything said, but I expect in the short term there will be a hit, and that's what the media would focus on. That you would see, in material terms, the economy in the area measurably decline, but it would not last long, because this is one of those things. It's like tech debt in programming or building systems, where you rush something, you do something quick, you do it the wrong way, and you can get it working, but you have to pay for that later, one way or the other. And so many things in life are like that. This is a really good example, because if the workers are cheaper, but you pay for it with, let's just say, your soul, as an analogy, then it's not bloody worth it. And if you get rid of them, you do pay a small cost to like a early leaving the contract cost or something like that, leaving the deal with the devil cost. But you will gradually after that get things recover. And this is what I said earlier about the long time horizon and lowest energy state. Lowest energy state for the next year or two is to hire a bunch of foreigners who don't charge very much. The lowest energy state for 30 years from now is absolutely never to do that. For 50 years or even further than that, even 10 years, I'd never do that. You spend so much of tomorrow's money by saving a bit today doing that. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. So I think that the economy as a whole might suffer some if we start mass removing people and we actually start taking back what's ours. And of course, this assumes that, we can actually start beating back the anti-white narrative, which I think we are. I think we're gaining ground. So the economy as a whole, the GDP, my holy GDP, might go down and things might be rough on us for a while, but I think it will recalibrate. Rotten businesses that have been upheld by all of these government startup projects and anti-white dollars that they've stolen from us, the citizenry. Yeah, I think we might see some pieces of the economy tank, but I think that's a good thing. We need businesses to fail. And the most white erased anti-white businesses are the ones that aren't allowed to fail by the anti-white policies. That is what is hurting the economy the most. And that's why I think that it will hurt the economy, but it will eventually be good for us monetarily. So I do want to bring up something in the chat. I am Celine? I am Celine shared a story that I want to put up here. Where is it? It was earlier in the chat. There we go. She says, I was a CNA for letting my and for letting my feelings about interracial adoption spill. No bad words were said, but I was fired. Meanwhile, the scallywags I worked with did nothing and tried to make me work. Yeah, it's, again, never-ending examples of just how anti-white almost everything in business and culture is. It's very sad. So, I think we have some paid chats to get to. We have, over on Rumble, Christos. Christos has been in the chat a lot lately. Love Christos. Good to see you here. And thank you so much for the money. $50 again over on Rumble. Thank you so much, brother. $50. Speaking of economics, the coffees are on me. Well, thank you very much. And he sends a little white heart emoji. Quite love it. Oh, hey, we have Quite White in the Rumble chat. Good to see you. Howdy, Quite White. All right. Let's see here. We also had a Buy Me a Coffee come in a little while ago, right when we started this dragon, from, it's from Shademaster. Shademaster, good to see you, buddy. That's also Carnal Conservative. He sends $10. Thank you so much. He said, he says, Yiz is a proud pedophobe. I take your meaning, sir. I take your meaning. Let me refresh PayPal and Cash App here, see if we're missing anything over on these.
Wouldn't cost be the right word? Pedo cost? That would.
Yeah, I wish we could have a pedo cost. Good God, we need one. All right. And over on, last but not least, over on Cash App from Jason Kuna, the No White Guilt guy himself, here with us tonight. Howdy, brother. He sends in $5 and he says, Promethean salutes, Folk Tithe. Thank you so much, brother. Glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying the conversation.
Promethean salutes.
Oh, wait. That wasn't, Shademaster says that wasn't him. Oh. Well, let me refresh again. I'm not seeing anything other than, there's only that one that came in. I don't know who. Well, this is an email address. I don't want to give out your real name. So whoever said Yiz is a proud pedophobe for $10, it's a Gmail address that starts with an S. So you can tell me who you are in the chat, and if I see it, I will let people know.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for whoever that was. I thought that's what Shademaster meant. Shademaster, if you send in something on Buy Me a Coffee, honey, it is not showing up yet. So maybe check again and make sure it went through. It's not showing up. If the money came out of your account, it's not showing up yet. So regardless, let's see here. Continuing on with Celine, she said, while I understand it was unprofessional of me to act that way at work, no one will give you understanding or concession, no matter how hard you work, if you're not anti-white enough. I agree. Like I said, this is why you're never anti-white enough for the anti-white regime, for the anti-white morality. If you're white,
they want you to talk yourself.
You can never prostrate yourself enough in front of the anti-white altar to escape the harm of anti-whiteism.
I wasn't being hyperbolic about that. The only thing that you could do that they would actually approve of is to end your own life. Yep. To take yourself out of the gene pool and to kill yourself. That is the only thing that they want from you ultimately. Whatever else they say, what they really want is they do not want you to exist.
Yep.
The problem with that is if you're the filter is such that if you're the kind of person that would do something for them, they want to maximize that. So even if someone were to kill themselves for them, they would ask, why didn't you kill more?
Yeah, why didn't you take out more with you? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Oh, we had a last minute one come in over on Rumble from the great artiste. He says, for $10, here's a tenner. Don't say I didn't give you nothing. Well, thank you very much, friend. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Well,
by the way, Yiz, just before we move on, I did want to point out that where most of these Haitians work in Massachusetts, in that UMass system, right out in front of the UMass Chan Medical School, I said Chan, by the way, duly noted, they fly the anti-white hate flag. Not the American flag, not even the Massachusetts state flag. They fly the anti-white hate flag for all the white people to see.
You mean the pride flag or the Israeli flag? Which one?
Both.
Well, the newest pride flag with that includes everybody but straight white people on it. That one.
Okay. Yeah.
The gigafaggot flag.
Yeah.
That is imagine being a white patient going there. Like, hey, welcome. Not you. Fuck you. You can just go ahead and die.
Yeah.
Worth noting.
It's messed up, man. All right. That was the work farce, which led to some interesting conversation I didn't expect, which is excellent. We now have the fight to repair from the blue and finding the path to justice from the white. Uzalu, by your decree, the next one to choose is Christopher. Christopher, which of those two would you like to handle next?
I like justice and I like repair, so a bit bit of a pickle. We talk about white or all stream, so let's go with the white dragon.
Okay. All right. The white dragon. This will be interesting because it will dovetail nicely with the conversation we were having earlier about crime and punishment. So this will be interesting. A Swedish girl, 16, and her brothers lured a taxi driver into the woods before hanging him in revenge for raping her. A Swedish girl was accused with her brothers of luring a taxi driver to a secluded forest and killing him for allegedly raping her when she was 14. She and her 4 brothers, all 18 years old or younger, are on trial accused of murdering the 26-year-old man. The brothers deny charges against them, but the girl admitted that she lured him to the secluded area thinking that her brothers would just beat him up. The girl allegedly texted the taxi driver, who has not been named, of course, because clearly he's non-white and must be protected, asking him to meet her with a bottle of vodka in a park near a Swedish word I won't even begin to try to pronounce, in southeast Sweden. After the pair met, the 4 brothers allegedly then strangled the man and hanged him with a noose made of rope that they brought with them, Swedish newspaper said. Prosecutors said this was likely to have meant he suffered severely in his final moments. If that's true and he did rape her, good. I have no problem.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Anyway.
They were innocent. They were actually at my place when this happened. They weren't there. They have a perfect alibi.
All right. The white with us tonight is a proud patriarch of a successful clan of whites who provide a wealth of resources to the Great Dragon Empire. He respects the humans of Earth for building such a great civilization without the aid of magic or dragons, so it saddens him to see our civilization suffering from such a sickness. His question tonight comes to Christopher first. If the law of the white man continues to be anti-white, how do whites find justice without breaking the corrupt laws of the land? What do just men do when law itself becomes unjust?
Bring the rope.
That's my answer. I am Batman.
Yeah.
But no, like seriously, like do you have a serious answer, or do you want to seriously?
No, honestly, this
grapple
is a
with-
serious answer. I think I mentioned it
Citizen
earlier.
vigilante. Yeah.
Yeah, but what can you do, honestly? Like, there is no recourse possible in the eyes of the law or the in accordance to the order of the civilization we've built and the rules we abide to. You don't have any possible outcome except breaking the law, honestly. Like, even if we try to do some what's the name again, march or protest, with some people who are like-minded, we are attacked by Antifa and stuff like that, and we are painted as a Nazi and all of kinds of pretty words in the media. We have no coverage. In Belgium, we have what we call the cordon sanitaire, which is how to translate that in English? Sanitary barrier, something like that. So you are by law authorized to refuse any time of media and coverage or interview and stuff like that to any far right group or so-called far right. So yeah, we have no recourse. So when you are cornered like that, breaking the law is the only possible scenario, the only one. I'm sure that the people in this story try to at least, talk to the adults, or making a complaint on the police, or do what's the name in English? To signal that this guy did something bad, blah blah blah. Maybe it was questioned. That I know I can be in a bit of the laxist side of the argument with this girl, but she was 14 or 16, so like two or 4 years ago. Beforehand, I don't think that just one day say, today I want to kill someone. I would be surprised. Maybe I'm a bit charitable,
typically no, that doesn't tend to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, this is my answer. Violence and law-breaking behavior is it's not that it's good or you should do that. It's just that it's logical that this is the pathway that will be led starting today with this kind of problem that you don't have justice in the proper way.
Okay, good answers. Let's move to someone else.
Having justice done
Mhm.
is more important than it being done through the proper channels. That's the ideal, but if it won't happen, justice still has to happen. And everyone in these people's towns should be saying what I said. No, they were at my house, mate. Je suis these guys. Now, that is all assuming that they are telling the truth and that she was raped by this guy. Probably true. It's happened plenty of times, but women do lie sometimes, so be sure. But if it's true, then yeah, justice almost certainly wasn't done. If he was out and about, then justice wasn't done as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. One of the things that I would like to hear you guys talk about is justice needs to happen. Not should, needs to. Justice is the necessary balance that has to happen for civilization to function.
Yes.
It has to happen or everything stops. So, Tree Godfather, you are the elder here. You're the oldest. You've seen all this shit happening for decades. The way that you see things now, the way that you think things might become in the future, if the law continues to be unjust and we need justice, how do you see that manifesting?
I see more and more white people coming together, rejecting the anti-white narrative. And once that, whatever critical mass is reached, any law that is repugnant to white well-being will be ignored. It'll be rejected.
Okay.
I see this story and I feel such an immense loss at the whole bottle of McGuire's that went overboard the other day. Yeah, and then some Swedes did something. I mean, I don't think they did, mate. They were.
I don't think they did.
12, they were 1,200 miles offshore with me, so it couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Again,
I think
crime.
the problem,
like Uzalu says, do not crime. But I do feel like if justice is denied by the official source, it must be meted out. That's why you have things like mafias and gangs rise up, is because of injustices that go unanswered. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, that's not injustices that go uncorrected.
Yes. I mean, speaking of, don't think they did meet. I mean, it's 250,000 women and girls. Speaking of that, you know, who
and that's just the ones that we know of in England.
It's an estimate. It's an estimate, to be fair. But 250,000 over the course of 70 years is an incomprehensible number, right? So
that's not once each either.
That's comparable to the real numbers times of the big H.
Yes, right. And yes, many of them, they were repeated assaults, women who were abused for years in many cases. So I guess, yeah, I will also reiterate, do not crime in that sense. But, you know, I think it's quite obvious at this point that you can't vote your way out of this. Under the current liberal paradigm, you can't. It's not allowed for. Like, you know, I got very hopeful about Restore when Rupert launched his, you know, put out his launch video. I was very hopeful for that. And it's a complete and utter mess right now that everyone's, and I thought for a minute, maybe we can vote our way out of this. Maybe we can vote our way out of it. You can't vote your way out of it. And that does mean, although I'm saying do not crime, and particularly the problem with the thing with do not crime is don't go out and do something on your own because you'll get caught and it will, you know, obviously be a terrible thing. And honestly, that's it. However,
it'll be an anti-white lynching.
It has to be motivated group mass action.
And most importantly here, just like that I've been saying for years that the white well-being people promote, you have to act with love. You have to let love and devotion to the well-being of your people.
Yes, of your people, yes.
Take precedence in your life. Because
100%.
If you're only lashing out and doing this out of petty hatred or tribal hatred, nothing good comes of it.
Yes.
Like
yes.
you have
Agreed.
you have to realize the situation we are in means things will get worse before they get better. You have to not be selfish. You have to act selflessly for the well-being of your people. You have to be willing to put in the time to network, to make a community watch, to create a community of people you can trust that have your back to make sure necessary justice is meted out in a healthy, constructive way. Even if it happens to be borderline in the legal department of the current anti-white laws, if you're just going out here for angry, violent vengeance justice, that's not helping us. That's just destroying another white life to go down swinging, so to speak. That's not constructive or healthy. Don't be like that.
I had
Agreed.
a pretty long argument with someone in my chat a couple days ago on stream, where I was emphatically arguing that a lot of people feel like they just want to do something that is at least symbolically or emotionally more extreme or reactive or harsher. But that is like, if you care about the people that we are, what emblemizes the people that we are is doing things that are effective. Ultimately, you have to stop overreacting to things and start reacting in a way that is sensible and actually works. And sometimes that means doing something that doesn't look as good or doesn't feel as good in the moment, but will actually produce better results. And a large part of that, unfortunately, is having patience and continuing to push at the speed we can go at towards the goal. Because again, part of the reason is many people who should be on our side with this stuff aren't, and that is a big factor. It's going to take time to restore it, much like no crusade to restore any Holy Land lasted only a day or a few years. They all lasted many years, and any cultural movement that was ultimately good lasted many years. We are fortunate in this era in some ways that many things move faster, but as a result, our enemy moves faster as well.
Yeah,
we should not expect this to be over within even one lifetime. We may be, but we'd be lucky to solve all these problems within one lifetime. We'll have many more to solve by that time as well. So it does take.
We have
time
a long road to hoe, as they say in
wisdom.
the South, Uzalu. A long road to hoe.
It takes time and wisdom and the resilience to be an exemplar while the whole world is trying to crush you.
I put something cool up here that Jason said in the chat. He said the notion that thinking only voting or violence is, the notion that it is only voting or violence is thinking within the coffin. That's really smart, and that's like that's a pithy way to say what I've been saying for years. Is you don't like it. Like the whole American stupid boogaloo stuff of we're going to fix our country, we're going to blah blah blah. Like no,
but my guns,
it's why
my guns.
It's why I said mass collective action. And I didn't say mass violence, and I reiterated
exactly.
Don't go do a crime. Mass collective action that is not voting and is not necessarily violence is what is necessary. Yeah. It may come down to violence at some point.
Yeah, it's like
it's not
like I tell people all the time. You have to build the future that you want. You want schools and things to be better. You want churches to be better. You want your community to be safer. Okay, here's a hammer and some nails. Go start building it with people of like mind. Don't just bitch about it and go shoot an immigrant or blow up a synagogue, because then you've only fueled the anti-white narrative and destroyed a white life in the process.
Yes,
exactly.
All right.
Yeah, the comment from chat is good. I want to emphasize that while voting is not enough on its own, to agree with Aydin, to add to it, I think it is part of the process. We have these systems and they have been corrupted, but they still work to a degree. They still have an effect. They are still viewed as legitimate by a lot of people. We still got to vote properly. We still got to vote in the right direction, move in that direction. But it's not enough on its own. Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with you entirely. Like when I say build a better school or better church, build a better government.
I understand.
Get involved in local politics. Know who your alderman is. Know who your mayoral representative is. Get involved with them, and if you don't like them, replace them and take their jobs. And do a better job for
I think
the
the important thing is be an exemplar, very similar to what you're saying, and do what is strategically effective. Resist the temptation to be the North American pavement ape and do what makes you feel good in the moment.
Exactly.
We need a better paradigm. Rather than worrying about Republican or Democrat, we need to think much more in terms of anti-white versus white positive.
Oh
Because
yes,
that's the only
100%.
paradigm that should matter for us, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, do you want to do what's good for whites or do you want to do what's bad for whites? And I think, like we talk about all the time, this lone wolf vigilante shit and terrorism shit, that is anti-white. It doesn't matter if you think you're striking a blow against whatever. No, you're not. You're throwing your own life away and just putting fuel in the fire that's already burning all of us. Speaking of, Quite White over on Rumble chat says, anti-whites want us to play their bad guy. They salivate at the thought of us doing crime that they can frame as anti-non-white. The SPLC indictment shows that anti-whites pay for villainy. That is absolutely true. Now, let's see here. I want to address a page chat that I missed, and it's entirely my fault. When I refreshed the page long ago, when I read Nacho's page chat, another one popped up on the same refresh with that, and I just thought it was the old one from last week. And that is the message that Carnal Conservative has been asking if it went through. It went through an hour ago with hers, and I'm very sorry I missed it. An hour ago, Carnal said, can we get a list for those who assaulted Entropy? We need to start targeting the smaller targets. These judges, too. Mafia tactics work. Yeah, they do. But here's the problem. The people who attacked and slandered Entropy, they're media people. And media people are just functionaries that do what the rich and powerful anti-whites pay them to do. It's not exactly easy to just go and punish them, because then another anti-white stooge just takes the place and writes the article and does the homework. Like, if you can find out who that person is and try to ruin her life, by all means, go ahead. But I'm pretty sure it was a woman that did the investigation thing there. But that's why I say her. But, if you can find out who that is and you want to mess with her, that's fine if you think that's worth your time. But I think going after journalists is low-hanging fruit. They're a dime a dozen, and there's a never-ending army of them just to take that seat. That's why I think moving away from and ignoring and denying media and teaching everyone in your community to do the same is how you defeat them. Like at the end of that made-for-TV Merlin movie with Sam Neill playing Merlin, at the end...
Oh, God, that was awful, wasn't it?
I love that movie so much. It's my favorite movie of all time. Sorry.
It's one of my favorites, too. I've watched it a million times. At the end, the way they defeat Queen Mab is they just say, we forget you. We don't need you anymore. And they turn their backs on her.
I bring it up all the time.
And when they turn around and don't
and
ignore her, her magic words don't have power on them anymore. And she fades away. And I think that's largely how we need to raise our kids and teach our family to be with the media.
Oh my God.
You turn your back on it. You reject it.
I didn't even know you'd seen that film, but I've said this exact same thing with that exact moment because it's so poignant. We awesome. Forget you, Queen Mab.
We forget you, Mab.
Yeah, it's so perfect. Just you're not that important anymore. We don't care.
You're just not that important anymore. Yeah, it's really strong. It's a good movie. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. I've had it on my hard drive of movies for 12 years.
Even when I get a new laptop, I download that, and I download Atlantis and El Dorado. Those are the animated cartoons because it's like my comfort food.
Oh yeah. No, I keep all mine on externals, so it doesn't matter what machine I have. I always have my media library.
Sam Neill is just that good of an actor.
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah, he's really good.
One of my early childhood crushes.
I understand, even if I am an N.
And yeah, Aydin's got to have Atlantis. It's got Daniel Jackson and a brown woman with white hair in it.
It's
basically made for Aydin.
It's made for Aydin, yeah.
And then El Dorado's got a brown woman in it too. Perfect. See, that's my comfort.
And a slightly off-screen blowjob.
I have always liked the aesthetic of the white hair with a tan or like mulatto skin.
It's visually appealing in cartoons and drawings. Unfortunately,
not really in real life. The first place I saw that was in the 80s. Storm in the X-Men. I thought she was awesome looking.
That's where it started because Storm was cool. Storm was.
Oh my God, you both have the same affliction.
No, I don't. No, it's not an affliction.
Is this a country American women thing?
No, it's appreciating aesthetic. I can appreciate the beauty of races and cultures around the world. That doesn't mean I want to import them.
I'm just hearing woman noise coping and seething right now.
Okay, sure, whatever.
All right, moving on. We have one dragon left. The last one of the night is the fight to repair. Now, as
I think I might know what this one is.
It's about right to repair stuff.
Yeah, it might be right.
And you might know because you look at the news every not every day, but you look at the news almost every day. The question, Uzalu, being the party leader, who do you want to answer this one first?
Good question. Has anyone here not done one first yet? I suppose not.
Nope, no, all 4 of you have.
It
well,
seems like it's more up your alley. You should just take it.
If it's tech, I'll take it.
All right, we'll let you do it because it is
Sure.
definitely about the right to repair. So we'll do that. However, the launching off point is this article. It's about Trump. The freedom to fix. Trump signs memo to give Americans power to repair their own cars. President Trump signed a memorandum on Monday titled Lowering the Cost of Living by Promoting the Freedom to Fix that aims to lower the costs for Americans who repair their vehicles' emission systems using aftermarket parts. The memo directs the administrator of the EPA to issue guidance on what actions a person can take regarding repairing their vehicle's emission systems and directs the administrator to consider deprioritizing civil enforcement actions against those who in good faith attempt to fix their own vehicles to the original configuration per a White House fact sheet. Additionally, the memo directs the EPA administrator to expedite alternative certification pathways for aftermarket parts, reducing the reliance on CARB, that's the California Air Resource Board, which has been the only certified process for aftermarket parts recognized under the Clean Air Act. Now, for those of you outside of America or who just don't know about this crap, this is the whole America has a lot of problems with like Green Party bullshit that a lot of Europeans have a problem with. And one of the issues with fixing this carbon emission shit is going all the way back to the days of the catalytic converter and all this. To cut down on emissions in America, car muffler assemblies have to have certain things that meet certain standards. And that all comes from only one place in the United States. And because it's in California, it is corrupt and anti-white as all hell. And that's a problem because there are many cheaper and easier ways now with the technology and tools that most of us have access to fix and refurbish the parts that make your car run as clean as the CARB and the EPA want your car to run. But since it's not sanctioned and doesn't come with their official California faggot stamp of approval, then it's technically illegal to do that. And Trump struck a strong blow here saying, hey, we need to fix this and let Americans be able to fix their cars cheaper to meet standards. And I think that's a good step. So let's move now to the last dragon of the evening, which is the blue, which is this cutie pie here. The blue with us tonight is the same young prince who visited us before, and he's glad to be back again tonight. He chose this story to ask us this, and it comes to Uzalu first. Do you think this is a step towards having more ubiquitous right to repair laws, and why is the right to repair important?
Oh, there's a premise there. Is the right to repair important? It's not purely good necessarily. Because if you have a product which is very hard to make repairable naturally, then you're forcing the enterprise, the free market enterprise, to do extra work that is not strictly necessary to sell the product to willing customers. So there's sort of two sides to this, but mostly I'm on board, and especially where they are deliberately making it harder to repair. There are examples of that. When it comes to these cars, it sounds like there is a regulation racket tied in with the tech itself.
There certainly is.
In that case, that is fucked. Would a company fail if you mandate this? Might that hurt the economy? If a company requires a racket to work, it's not meritocratic enough to survive.
Agreed.
Goodbye. That would be my general take on this. And Trump has done a broad mix of things during his administration, but there are plenty of things like this that I think people tend to forget among the mess of Epstein and a few other things like that, a few other really bad things. He has actually done quite a lot of good things, and this is a good example.
He has.
It sounds.
And credit where credit's due. We talk about it on my channel a lot. His administration has done some good stuff, and he deserves a salute for that.
And the birthright citizenship wasn't his fault either. He tried his best. Other things as well, he's a lot of good things, as I say. But yes, this seems like just pretty much unambiguously a good thing, especially where it concerns the regulatory bracket. I'd be cautious. It's a little bit like the gay marriage thing, where should gays be allowed to marry in some sense? Maybe, sure, but should it be mandated upon institutions to provide it? Now, that's a different fucking question. Should people be allowed to repair their stuff? Absolutely. Should companies be required to go through extra processes to make sure the stuff is consumer repairable? That's a different question. it depends sort of how much more it costs and how much else is involved. But in this case, it sounds like it's a fairly clear-cut example of no, it's not.
Yeah,
they're not really. They're trying to make it harder to do. Go on.
Since you brought up homosexual marriage, that shit is fake. Marriage is between a man and a woman. We all know that. But for legal and tax purposes and for insurance purposes, there has existed for almost 100 years in the United States something that works perfectly for homosexual marriage. It's called civil union. Civil union can be between two people who cohabitate and live together and who are socially committed together. They don't even have to be lovers. It's called a social union. That has existed since before my parents were born in most states in the United States. And it's perfectly serviceable for homos to use because you can have that and a legal power of attorney over each other, and you have the exact same thing under insurance, taxes, and U.S. laws as married people do. All of this gay marriage bullshit has been nothing but an anti-white attack on our norms. So anybody who talks about gay marriage so gays can get married, no, tell them to put it in their pipe and smoke it, because it's BS. It has only been anti-white lies from the very beginning, because homos could have every legal, every tax, every financial thing sorted with a simple piece of paperwork from any small town lawyer and being recognized as civil partners. It's been around for decades and decades.
Because it's a very American thing for the state to force the church to how to operate. It's very American. It's not at all a colossal violation of the fact. If any country in the world is going to do mandatory right to repair, it probably should be the US, because that opens up the free market. But again, as I say, if it requires a bunch of extra work for the manufacturer, then that cuts the other way on the same principle.
I hear you.
I have something to say to the dragon.
Go ahead.
As stated just before we started the stream, I'm watching an anime right now, which is called Dr. Stone, if people know it in the chat, which I highly recommend. The basic synopsis of the story is the entire planet Earth, entire humanity is petrified by some magic ray. We don't know the source or what it happened. We just learned pretty quickly in the story that it was deliberate. And so, like 4,000 years later, the main character wake up and he start to try to rebuild the civilization, because everything crumbled to dust, and all the infrastructure, all the material, everything, like nature to take all. And it teach a lot about science, like how to build, tent, how to build tools, how to build some more chemical stuff, like some acid, some salt, some seashell powder, some soap, everything. So it's a very nice anime, and it speaks a lot, about the drive of humanity to tinker with things, to try to learn things, to try to conquer things. And the right to repair strikes me a lot with the anime I'm watching, so Dr. Stone. It's like, to me, I'm not a hand-on guy. Like I don't tinker. I don't do some construction work, or I don't have a motorcycle or car or something like that to work on. I'm not a manual labor person, but I respect deeply what these people can do, because what we are doing right now, this podcast, is built on tinkering and engineering and whatever the fuck. So I just don't understand, why can you think on your right mind that you can revoke the right to someone to build things or repair things, more so. I understand, the things that, but if we allow this, everyone can make a car on his own backyard, and it's not up to regulation, some car accident, blah, blah, blah. I understand, but it's also a different conversation.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was going to interject something.
People have worked on their own car with spare parts and everything for, I don't know, some 100 years more. So I don't know why, except some fucked up bureaucrats want to take control of a rocket that said Uzalu.
Well, here's the
What
thing.
this came from.
Uzalu and I have talked about policy and government stuff a lot together. And I think that whenever you have a large civilization, you have to have rules. You have to have government. You have to have things that keep things up to a standard. Like as a nature-loving white person, I don't want machines belching out awful, disgusting pollution, whether from an industry or from a vehicle. So having standards that things have to meet is not inherently a bad idea.
No, definitely not.
I don't think that's bad. I do think that corporate regulation is bad because what is corporate regulation? It is, what is a system? The purpose of a system is what it does. Corporate government regulations on manufacturing, like cars and planes and infrastructure and shit like that, it is the government and rich corporations getting together, shaking hands, and enshrining into law barriers that make startup competitors almost impossible. And this is why I think regulation, corporate regulation that became huge in the 1980s under Ronald Reagan, is anti-American. It is against the nature of a competitive market. Because if you say, oh, well, you don't like the way this industry works, you don't like the way banking works, you don't like the way the airlines work, you don't like the way this works, well, good luck creating a competitor, because we've been working with the government for decades to make sure that all of these bullshit regulations that don't really need to exist do exist, to make sure that nobody who doesn't have dozens of millions of dollars of liquid startup capital can even begin to compete. It is absolutely against the nature, the spirit of free market competition to have all of these massive legal regulation bullshit laws. It's awful. It's terrible for ingenuity. It's terrible for competition. And it's terrible for the American spirit. I am absolutely against most regulations. If there are going to be government regulations on things, I think it needs to be something simple. Like, if this type of engine produces these things that we believe are hostile to the environment, then you have to prove that your system, your part, can meet these requirements that we think are tolerable. Can it do that? Then that's all the regulation we need. We don't need all this other extraneous bullshit and all these hoops you have to jump through and all these licensures and things you have to pay to even compete in the market, because that absolutely makes the rich and the powerful keep a stranglehold on everything. And truly ingenious people with great new ideas rarely ever even get to step up to the plate because they can't.
Well,
So,
for me,
I'll get off my soapbox now. I have very strong opinions on that as an American.
But what I thought about this story, at least that's what I was feeling, is that it was more about the government and all the corporations say, if you don't use these official parts of the US aid kit, you are not allowed to go on the roads, and this set part would be very expensive and blah blah blah, and some fiddling with the government and stamp and blah blah blah. This I don't like. I understand that you have to have in this case with cars, safe vehicles, safe roads, blah blah blah. But there is a point. There is a point.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like most regulations as they exist. I do think to have a functional advanced society, you have to have some parameters on what is and isn't allowed in the market. Like, for example, I don't think you should be able to buy and sell people. I don't think you should have child prostitution. Those are bad. I don't like those. I like my government saying that those aren't allowed. That's good. But like, when it comes to all of this government corporate regulation, especially in the field of digital technologies, especially in the field of automobile and airlines and stuff, the things that you have to go through to be a competitor in many of these industries, you have to have rich, powerful, deep pocket backing and a government handshake approval before you can even compete. That's what I think is bad. That's the kind of regulation I think that needs to stop.
This is also well, I don't know what to say in English, but a second-hand problem, something like that. You don't have competitor, you don't have an open market, so you have a monopoly essentially. So we go back to the thing I said, that you have to buy explicit official deluxe edition part of blah blah blah.
the maximum freedom in practice of any governed system comes at a greater than zero level of limitation. So yes, regulations to some degree are good, and the difficulty is knowing how, when, and where. It's a nuanced question, not a simple one. However, we have gone way too far, even in the US. And as I said in chat, if anywhere in the world should be ensuring that there is maximum market activity in an area, maximum freedom to engage in enterprise in an area, it's the US. And it sounds like in this case, it was a racket, so it's a fairly clear-cut case of no, fuck that. But where it's not, and where the market has essentially found a balance, that's more debatable on the matter of right to repair. It's not a simple one-directional issue, unfortunately. And I think that Lewis Rossman guy, that YouTuber, too often treats it like one.
Yeah. I mean, people are often like that with their little pet issues that they get dollars for talking about.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it a million times. It's like why Nick Fuentes started obsessing about the Jews. Like, you remember how he was before that? He was talking about what was it? What was his first big thing? He was talking about the Democrats, and then he started talking about the blacks, and then all this other shit.
Yes.
It's like, people find their pet thing to bang on about. They get the donation dollars, and they just stick with it. I hate that shit.
I have an announcement to make, by the way.
What is your announcement, friend?
The match USA Belgium has started, so
I was about to
good luck,
ask
everyone.
at some point. Yeah, like how's that going? We'll see how it goes. I mean, like, look, okay. This actually relates back to the first question. I genuinely do hope. I think it's very unlikely that England beats Norway. However, I really would like the finals, because it would have to be, given the brackets, to be between the US and the UK, and I would like the UK to win.
Well, I know everybody's excited to get out of here. I know
really
people have
England to win.
I know people have
England beat Mexico. I'm pretty happy about that. Sucks to be you, Nachos. Come on, England, score some fucking goals.
If I may.
Yes, please.
It is within our biospirit to be curious, to be tinkerers, explorers, to take things apart, see what makes them tick, put them back together.
Mm-hmm.
In just a few short 100 years, we've gone from boats powered by wind that we couldn't even sail upwind to literally beyond our solar system.
Yep.
I talk very often in my streams about the ability to repair and the loss of, within our young men, of technical skills. But the right to repair comes with that. The right to take things apart, see what makes them tick, and see how you can make them better is a big part of that. I own a couple of machines, mostly my 6430 John Deere. And I am very familiar with the big giant green weenie of do not touch what God Deere has assembled. So that's kind of where my knowledge comes in more than somebody more technical, like computers and that kind of stuff. But I did do a DEF delete because fuck them, that's why. And it's so much nicer just to be able to take my tractor and do what I want to do without having 1/3 the horsepower for the next 45 minutes while it does some bullshit fucking regen, and having to go buy this
was talking about
muffler fluid to throw that goes in there. That's ridiculous. It is absolutely, in my opinions, that once again an example of selfish individuals who just want to hog everything and enrich themselves and screw the betterment of our people, who for centuries, most of the innovations we have been by not corporations, but people, tinkerers in their garage. The Harley Davidson brothers, the Wright brothers, for example, brought us aviation by tinkering in a garage. Mm-hmm. Mass production through Ford started by him tinkering in a garage. So we could go down the list from now until the Norway team turns 90.
Nikola Tesla.
A British institution of a few men in a shed is time-honored and vital to the future of the Western world.
Exactly. Western kind doing what we do. So the right to repair is the right to explore. And I'll leave it at that.
I agree. I didn't answer this question really, but yeah, I largely agree with what everyone else has said. I absolutely believe that it should. It's the idea that it's even up for debate is honestly incomprehensible.
Go watch Dr. Stone.
Yeah. I'd like to see that. I might check that out. Is it really long or is it a short anime?
It's according to anime size, with the big giant like One Piece, Detective Conan, or
No, I mean
Dragon Ball,
like how many series? How many episodes?
less than 100, I think.
Oh, geez, that's a big time investment. We'll see. All right.
But honestly, it's fun. You don't have to watch everything.
Okay.
Knowing
been,
you
I've
a
been-
little bit. Goal Belgium! Sorry.
I've been told
Well, hey,
something about
let's-
Dr. Stone, which you may want to know before you consider watching it, but I won't say it for the benefit of Christopher. It's about the ending.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they don't spoil it. Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
the
it.
ending
but
seem
still.
very, very, very big. Like I have some suspicion. Yeah. Sorry
right.
for the scream.
Oh, that's okay. It's fun. I tell you what, let's read some paid chats, have some giggles, and get out of here because I know people want to get to their foosball. So, starting over on. Okay, nothing there. Let's check PayPal again. I'll refresh one more time. Nothing there. Refresh that. Nothing new there. So that means we just have from the great artiste in on Rumble again with 2. First for $20. Thank you again, man. Thank you so much. He says, thanks for hosting Christopher. Lots of Brits, US, Canadians, Germans in this space. We need to hear more of Christendom in this space. Thank you, brother. I do my best to find good people wherever I can find them. And I
Thank you
think
very
Chris
much
is a
for
good guy.
the kind words.
And then she found me.
I do wish there was more of that, by the way, but I think there is a problem with the Francosphere. Not a problem, but it's that the Francosphere very much does predominantly speak French and only French. So there tends to be a bit of a disconnect between.
Well, you could always
social
invite
media.
me, Lady Aydin and Lady Yiz.
Oh boy!
Oh my God! Stop!
I love the JF
JF
voice.
could join your stream and we could talk about my latest advertisement to offer my sperm to any willing potato women that I will definitely not
We did a
murder and
stream.
bury in their woods.
That I will
RCMP
definitely
will
not
never
bury
catch me.
outside
Another problem that there is with the Francosphere is that it's very, very left-leaning.
Like, that too.
There is, of course, right-wing people and people who are sensitive to the white identity and bashing the whitehead out of existence, but it's a very tiny minority. Honestly, it's like not even funny. And there is a very
it is in every Western country. It
but
really is
in
a
the
small minority.
Francosphere, it's very spot on, and I have noticed something that is actually 100% not present in the Anglosphere, is that there is an actual structural impossibility for the Francosphere, some influencer, YouTuber, radio people, whatever the fuck, to unite and do a basic podcast like this. It is like you even cannot find it. There is maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 tops existing, but like in the Anglosphere, there is so many.
Yeah, I've gone out of my way because ever since I met you, I've been trying to network and find either fluent or native French speakers, and there's just I can't find them who speak English. I mean, like it's easy to find them in France who speak French, but like I've been asking around, and the closest thing I can find is like a French Canadian, which I know is not the same.
I'm not surprised. Maybe you can find some luck in Switzerland, maybe. But that's
you found me, yes, that is wonderful.
Anyway,
I would be
we gotta get
happy
out
to
of here.
join your stream.
We got to get out of here. So let's read the great artiste's last paid chat over here. For $10 again, thank you so much, friend. He says, this November, when veterans ask me to donate for Armistice Day, I will ask them, why are you ferrying in invaders? Why are you supporting genocide in Palestine? I will sit and await their answers. Yeah, exactly. Like I do not fund anti-whiteism if you can help it. Yeah, I've met several base Quebecois up there. Or not up there. I meet them on the internet is what I mean. But it's north of me. All right. So I believe that we have come to the end of the paid chats. Thank you all who have financially gifted to me tonight. It means a lot to me. because I have lost a few monthly subscribers over on Subscribestar due to financial hardships. Because I mean, I've even had to terminate some subscriptions myself because of financial hardships. It's been rough lately. So thank you to you guys who are helping support me. I deeply appreciate that. Now, let's look at some funnies and have some chuckles to get out of here. So before we get to the funnies, I want to talk about this. Let me pull it up here. I'm sure you guys have seen the Patriot Front staged thing going around. This is funny. We're going to laugh at this for a second because this is something that Mass Creation Broadcast sent me. It's safer to be an oppressed black woman on a train of so-called white supremacists than to be a white girl on a random train. Now, this is funny, but for those of you that don't know this story, there was this picture that went viral because of PF being on a bus with this black lady. And this black lady is a regular public nuisance, has been arrested several times. She likes pissing on things and exposing herself to people in public. So clearly, stand-up citizen. But here's the interesting thing. Reuters photographer Cheney Orr, doesn't sound very American to me, captured the widely circulated image of the woman surrounded by masked PF members on the DC Metro, which went mainstream. And her name is Bolding. Bolding's indecent exposure charge and prior train photo provide counter context, showing her in a compromising position beforehand, which challenges the unprovoked victim narrative. This seems AI written. I wonder who shared this to me.
It's Grok. It's Grok.
Yeah, no other AI would be willing to present such a clear-headed analysis.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
the coincidence of a Reuters photographer being present at the same time fuels skepticism about staging or selective framing. I 100% believe that this was a staged photo. Not that the entire event was staged, but that somebody had the tip off that Patriot Front was going to do a thing. And no doubt with an organization as big as PF, they have at least some Fed moles in there. No doubt it was a tip off. And this anti-white journalist needed a picture. And so went on a train, maybe even got this retarded street pissing, expose herself to public and get arrested non-white to be there just to get the picture. I absolutely believe that is what could have happened. So
I think there's a pretty good chance that it was not staged at all. And
really,
if you've got Patriot Front moving around, they probably advertise it. You've probably got feds within it. Everyone would know where they are. They'd send the messages to journalists immediately, get some pictures. It'll be juicy to attack the locals,
No, I'm not saying that PF.
But this is the interesting part. No, I know, but this is the interesting part. I doubt she was there as part of any staging either. I think it's the kind of thing where we found out with Rittenhouse, if you shoot into a crowd of leftist activists, you will hit a burglar, a wife beater, and a pedophile.
And two out of the three were Jews, by the way, just saying.
I don't.
And if you have a random black woman on a train, fair chance that she's been arrested a few times.
You know what? I take that back. I think you're right. This was the Metro in DC, right?
Trust me, I've been in the Metro in DC many times. Grew up there, so
you're right. I didn't think
it could have been staged, but it could be completely not staged at all. All of this makes sense to me now.
0% chance.
The staging of it probably was it. I don't believe that the Reuters photographer really was just there by complete happenstance. I don't necessarily buy that, but that's because that Patriot Front is feds.
Journalists are good at pursuing stories.
Look, they're not all feds.
No, I know they're not all. I'm not, but I'm saying that it is full of feds. It certainly looks like it. There's a lot of very suspicious stuff.
Yeah,
Any
most of them are SPLC.
Fed infiltrators.
Yes,
is not a Fed op.
No, not inherently or intrinsically, but unfortunately, it is infiltrated with feds, and so someone probably tipped off. Do you know what I mean? Like who
yeah, that's why I said that. Yes. I already said that.
Yes, I know. I agree. Well, I'm agreeing with you, but
I don't. Your ears, woman.
But I don't think that the brownoid first of all, like I saw a video from earlier in that situation where they were just taking their pants down and fucking around on the train. So I don't think that was.
I didn't want to share that video because it's gross.
Disgusting.
I don't want to subject my audience to seeing a
what were they? It looked like they were just like
take her
farting
pants off
in the
and rub
air.
her ass on the wall and then play with herself on the bus seat. I'm not
very
showing
bizarre. But all of
I'm
a
not
sudden, it was
showing
very
that.
behaved. So yes, I think that the Reuters photographer was falling around PF already, regardless of what they say. However, I do think that incident and the comparison between the behaviors was natural. That's just the DC Metro.
I think the argument that this is staged is a bit more nuanced, and it comes as follows. I think this is something that may have been happening, or it may be complete coincidence, that the press for years has either, deliberately or not, been has been setting up stories such that there's always two polarized interpretations that you can take. One for the shallow audience that listens and believes and doesn't dig deeper, and one for the autistic, smaller, more underground, anti-establishment audience that does care and look into it. If they are aware of this pattern and are deliberately fomenting that division, which again, not sure they are, but they might be, then getting her involved would be ideal for that purpose.
All right,
Because
let's have some laughs.
we would look into it, and no one else would.
All right, let's have some laughs. We got to get going here. All right, we just had Big Time America Day, and as a reminder, the 4th of July was brought to you by a bunch of white extremists with guns. Just so you know. Here we go. I promise I won't get political. 3 drinks later. To ensure that human civilization, not insect, dominates the galaxy now and forever. This was a good one. I like
you needed
this.
3 drinks to get there?
No, not me. I'm there all the time.
Like in real life, there's certain conditions, but in sci-fi, no, kill them all. Elf genocide now. Cox evil kindling. Right, Aydin?
Indeed.
All right, moving on. I like this one. Somebody used the basketball thing to make a good meme. I like this one.
That movie comes out like tonight, doesn't it? It's the premiere tomorrow. I mean, good God. By the way,
it's been out already, I think.
I think it just came out tonight. I would say this about that film. It won't flop. People were expecting a flop. It won't flop because it's got Chris Nolan's name attached to it. It's a massive film. I don't think it'll flop. However, I think it will permanently damage Chris Nolan's name. And the next time he makes a movie, it won't be Oppenheimer. You know?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, she's ugly.
Uh-huh.
I like this. Paris's deputy mayor says the U.S. bears a significant amount of responsibility for the deadly heat wave gripping France. And
I've still yet to figure out why.
Look at this.
I want to get into this. I have real strong opinions on this discourse.
Aydin and I have both talked about the air conditioning discourse quite a lot.
I talked about it a lot
it is not
too.
as, I don't think it's as clear cut as the Americans say, but I would generally be in favor of, I'm not certainly not against AC, but there's 2 sides to the story, genuinely.
First of all, the Ameritards that share their opinions on this are almost always ignorant and wrong. As being stupid. So I just ignore them.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily blame people for being stupid. I mean, many people are stupid, but it's the arrogance. It again goes back to the initial question from the first Dragon, where it's like, I see why everyone hates us, and it is, it's that kind of attitude. It's like, I get it, I do.
All right, moving on.
I love Kilsher, by the way. Maybe one day.
Kilsher's great, yes.
Maybe one day we will have it on his stream, Discord and Dragon. Would be funny.
Have on what exactly? I missed it. What word?
Your stream, the Discord and Dragon, the VTuber Kirscher.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I don't know anything.
That's the one who did the tweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. Kirscher, she's a VTuber. She's very.
How do you have a VTuber on? Wouldn't I have to download her software?
No.
No.
She streams
it could be routed as a camera.
Okay, cool.
Wouldn't the I assume that they mean through global warming. Anything else would just make no fucking sense.
If I may interject real quickly before, I know we're going through memes.
But if you're blaming stuff on global warming, like, doesn't the math say you blame India and China?
Do you not see how they have smuggled acceptance of global warming into the right wing via this Europe discourse, this AC shit? I'm absolutely fucking furious about it because they have managed to smuggle into the quote unquote American right wing acceptance of global warming as a reality by this bullshit, and that's where I really dislike it. How were you able to get
I
this crap so easily?
I'm not sure about that. I think the image below is not meant to be a 100% serious and literal interpretation of the events. I think it's just making fun of France's ridiculous statements, to be honest.
Yeah, that is a meme. No, you're right. No, that is a meme. However, having been involved in this, there's people who are like deadly serious about the shit. And I mean big,
especially in Europe.
YouTubers. No, there's a bunch of American YouTubers who are like, who I've seen, like Possum Reviews, Sean Fitzpatrick, whatever it is, Actual Justice Warrior. They've been going hard, like screaming at Euros for the past month and a half over the heat stuff. So
yeah, but look, girl,
they're smuggling
we live in the online circle that does not represent normal people.
Oh, I know.
Normal right-wing people are not being hoodwinked into believing global warming lies just because of this stupid AC meme.
Well, not currently, but that's why I'm saying be very careful about this stuff, because you can see how a retarded left-wing idea gets smuggled into the right.
For sure.
And
that's been happening for decades. I agree.
I know.
I agree.
It puts up my warning flags, you know.
But we need to laugh at this. The Norwegian Racial Engineer Division summoning a 6'5" Neolithic Jotun to get their boys in the quarterfinals.
That guy Holland, holy fuck!
I know.
He's like, he's Cro-Maggot fuck.
We have some memes.
There he is.
I love this guy.
Dude, yes.
We have another one.
He's an actual Viking.
I like this one.
And by the way, about just a tiny bit of football, soccer, Haaland is actually a genius. Like, give him a few more years, maybe we'll go on the level of I don't know, Maradona, Pele, and stuff like that. He's honestly a genius at a striker.
It's funny because I'm 6'4".
That's cool. All right.
Well, so hold on. I'm 6'4" as well. Is there a chance that by a tiny fraction I am not the tallest? Yes, you gave it to me anyway.
You're the tallest because I say so, and the reason for me choosing a leader is entirely arbitrary.
Fair enough.
Yeah, she would. So if she had talked about beard, it would be me.
Yeah. Christopher has the best beard of any of my friends. It's even bigger and better than Ginger's. All right, next.
That you know of.
Yeah, that's true. According to Madami, this is how New York City was built. A bunch of Muslim women up there. And last but not least, I like to finish with the winner. How did you know I was from Somalia?
Well, it sure wasn't those blue eyes.
Oh, boy. Good stuff. All right.
Cue the Behind Blue Eyes song.
We had a last-minute paid chat come in from the Great Artiste again. Thank you so much, brother. He says, Guernsey is a crown protectorate, Aydin. Don't flex. You are non-UK. Don't flex your non-UK when you belong to Charles Oath Break Sausage Fingers.
Well, actually, that's not entirely true. So let me explain how crown dependencies work.
Oh, God.
Crown dependencies.
Look what you've done, the Great Artiste. For $2.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Look, we're all sovereign. We're all actually sovereign, okay? Technically, we do use your money and all of your the BBC and everything, but yeah, totally independent. Okay, got it. Sovereign.
All right. Well, thank you to all of you lovelies in the chat who always come and show up and make this worth it. Thank you to all of you who financially support. I deeply appreciate that so much. If you like the content I do and the guests I bring on and you want to see me do more, please go over to Subscribestar. Become a monthly supporter of mine. I will thank you. I will love you. I will put your name in the cool visual graphics I have. I will see you guys tomorrow morning for a morning walk. And if I can arrange it, I will be streaming with someone tomorrow afternoon. With that being said, I will definitely be back next Monday night with some excellent guests I already have lined up, and we will have Discordant Dragons next week. Thank you, of course, to Uzalu, Aydin Paladin, also known as Science Sybil, the Tree Godfather, and Christopher Everard. You have been wonderful guests, and you're all invited to come back again.
Thank you, yes.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Good night, guys. Speak the truth. Love your people, and I'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night. Cheers.
Good night, all.